Welcome back to 1010's podcast. This is Michael, of course, with Adam and Robbie. And Mr. Robbie Beerhout. I know I started with you last time, but I'm going to start with you again.
Rob.
Handsome
Sorry.
Rob. Should I start over?
No, it was
Okay, so Handsome Rob, Mr. Handsome Rob. I started with you last time. I'm going to start with you again. You did some updates to the store.
I did.
To our store.
Yeah. 10tenspodcast.storeenvy.com.
Or you go to 10tenspodcast.com and find it that way too. But
Click on that store link.
my point is, people have given us some feedback that our stuff was too expensive. That's been solved.
Not that we didn't disagree.
No, we totally
just
get
for
it.
the record.
That was the availability of stuff that we had.
We make almost no profit to be transparent.
It's, no. We try to pass on the savings to you. Printing shirts individually is like a really expensive business, which is why if you go to like a normal brick and mortar business, they're like, hey, you got to give us an order of 30 shirts for us to do this. But we didn't want to carry inventory, so we have our Store Envy account, and they print shirts and stuff individually, which is why it's through Store Envy and not through the website. They fulfill the order and handle all the bullshit and whatever else. But up until recently, it's been
like 25 a piece.
$5 plus $4 or $5 of shipping for a shirt.
Yeah.
So now all the shirts are they 20 or they're $19.99?
20 or less unless you're a triple XL.
Okay. And there's new designs. Robbie's got some stuff up there. You guys should check that out. Some old stuff got retired. We may retire some more stuff. We may throw some new stuff up there. We're going to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, well, we got an email today that said I might have to change the shirt type on some of the older styles just because they don't carry them anymore. So that might be updated. So we'll see.
So anyway, my point is, if you wanted a shirt, it was too expensive up until now.
Less
You
expensive.
should check it out. They're less expensive. But to be fair, not to say that we're anybody else or as big as any other shows, our shirts were not like more expensive
No, of course not.
than like anything that
we looked
Roadkill or Mighty Car Mods. Or
Actually,
anything.
I think a Roadkill shirt's like more expensive, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
And you know that they are selling in a large enough volume.
Yeah,
that
those guys are buying
They're
thousands.
not selling that shit at cost.
They're buying thousands of those at a time,
Yeah.
and then marking them up probably double. So
Yeah.
it's just, if at some point we do carry inventory, it would probably be, I don't know if we could get it cheaper than right now. For some reason, this is really cheap.
It is really.
They used to be American Apparel. Now they're like Bella or whatever they're called.
Okay,
So
so it's a generic equivalent, basically.
yes.
We just wanted to get some cheaper stuff out there because people had asked for it. So
I need to get some because I had one person ask me if I knew whether or not those new T-shirts will shrink or not. I said, I'm going to be ordering one. I'll let you know. And I haven't ordered it yet because I'm fail.
there's the Rad City 80s one. Is that the one?
That's the one I want. And that's the one that he wants as well. So
That's the one. Well, that's the one that got ordered. The one that we sold already.
it's true.
was the
We've
Rad-
only sold one since
Rad
we
City
updated the
80s.
show. Shame.
Shame, free podcast.
The one thing I'm really proud of is how the new logo looks on the Palm beanie.
Oh, that's
the
right. The
Rad
beanies.
beanie.
We should.
I love the beanie.
We've had people ask us why we don't sell beanies.
Well, then
And
why haven't
up
they ordered
until now, that wasn't an option. So there are beanies, people. Go buy them.
You should definitely.
And they're
have it.
cheap. It's cheap too, isn't it?
Yeah, like $20.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. The
Right.
normal price
Right.
of the beanie.
T-shirts are. Do you remember? Time for being old because I'm 28 now. Do you remember when we were kids?
Yes.
How much were T-shirts when we were kids?
Free mom bottom.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Nice clue what a
but think about it. Like when you started making your own money when you were 16 and buying stuff. I mean, they were what, $15
Probably, yeah.
Something like that. Back in my day.
back in my day, 10 years ago.
If you go to
12
Walmart, aren't
years
they
ago.
still that, though? I guess I don't know.
Some of the cheap ones are, yeah.
I mean,
those,
I don't-
Those graphic novelty tees.
But
I
like,
can't remember the last time I bought a T-shirt in a store.
but like sometimes I see prices for T-shirts and they're like at a store and they're like $30
Or $45.
What in the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Shit's wild.
Like, I understand, like, maybe a blip shift shirt being a little more expensive because they print those in pretty limited runs, you know, stuff like that. I kind of understand that. But if you're just mass marketing a shirt and you want $40 for it, nah.
I get this one. Affliction.
Yep.
Plain,
Hate it.
Just a regular fucking T-shirt
Yeah.
on their website.
Yep.
What do you think it costs before shipping?
Affliction, I'm going to say it's probably $45.
That was going to be my guess as well.
That is almost exactly on $44 for a stupid T-shirt.
Let me
my
see it. Is it just a white T-shirt or
no,
something?
no, it's a black T-shirt.
It's just screen printed.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
So
nothing
it's
fancy.
like the same thing we do.
So
Twice
anybody
the price.
that wears one of those,
Could buy two of ours.
yeah, and is questionable in many, many ways. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
That said, though, I did get an email from this this company that I kind of follow in the periphery, but they sent me an email and I clicked. I was like, oh, that's a nice T-shirt. I clicked on it. I think it was $199.
Oh, just a T-shirt?
Yeah.
Do you follow Kanye West or something? he was the one that was selling
it
that
stitched in
$200
gold?
white T-shirt.
No, it's called Mr. Porter, and they're a UK company, and they make they carry expensive lines of clothing. But come, $200 for a T-shirt? I mean, really?
That's
Come
insane.
on, come on. What's it made out of?
What does it do? I mean,
It's not. It's just a cotton.
It
T-shirt.
shrinks and then you can't wear it again.
Probably. Yeah, you order the
that's
wrong.
what I'm afraid
You order the wrong size, and you're screwed.
that's insane.
I know,
Why?
because somebody will pay that much for it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's, I don't know if it's manufactured in the United States or in the UK, or I don't freaking know, but it seems amazing. If you make a market for something, there's some moron that you can separate from his money.
Apple removed it shortly after it was put up, but there used to be an app on the Apple store that was like the most expensive app on the store. I can't remember the number. I want to say it was either like, I want to say it was $999 because that was all the higher they'd let you go.
Yeah.
And literally, if you bought it, downloaded it, and you opened it, it would just pop up a screen it just said like you spent whatever that number was on the most expensive app in the world, and that was all it did. But like,
People bought it.
50 people bought it.
Probably. Just to say that they had bought it.
Yeah, and then Apple removed it. But that cost. I mean, I don't know what app development costs, but that's pretty simple in terms of app development. I would imagine they made a pretty
made some money on
even
that
if
deal.
10 people bought it, they did really well for themselves.
Right. Exactly.
Really well for themselves.
There was a book for a while. I don't know if it was fake because I think I just saw a screenshot of it. It was a book on Amazon that said how I made $300,000 selling books on Amazon, and the book was $300,000.
Smart.
It's a good move. You only got to sell one book that way. But there, like when people get carried away on Amazon, there was all the fake reviews. The book underneath. Yeah. Like the sugar-free gummy bears.
I was just going to say, like the gummy bears. Oh, my God. Makes me want to buy them, though,
You know about this, Robbie?
The sugar-free gummy bears?
Yeah.
You not seen this?
Maybe.
Apparently, they're straight laxatives.
Yeah, they will just make you shit
They
your
will
pants.
clean you out. And there's a whole bunch of reviews about, like, these wrecked my entire weekend type of thing. Like,
And my bathroom.
I was gone.
And my family.
Like, people thought I had died.
Yep, I missed my son's birthday party
Yeah.
because I was
Yeah.
shitting myself.
Would
to
not
death.
recommend buying.
Are you looking it up right now? Is that what you're doing?
So,
Yeah, in all fairness, you were warned. The Amazon description for sugar-free Harborough gummy bears reads, in part, this product is a sugarless, sugar-free item with ingredients that can cause intestinal distress if eaten in excess.
That's the problem with sugar-free gummy
Yeah,
bears.
like,
You
who
could probably
doesn't-
just sit there and pop them?
who buys
Isn't it
gummy
like a
bears and then
5-pound bag?
doesn't eat them in excess?
Isn't
you
it
know?
a 5-pound bag? It's like a huge bag of them.
Yeah,
too.
it's a big bag.
I'm
sure people
if
just-
you have 5 pounds in front of you, you're going to just keep eating.
Well, yeah, if it's sugar-free, what do you care? There's like no calories in there. Next thing you know, though,
Yeah, it's good for you.
yeah, it's good. It's good for something, I
Don't
guess.
get him started. He's baiting you now, Michael.
He might be a little bit. That's okay.
So,
All right, anyway, should we do Adam's opener? Presented by Eyes Up Auto Art.
it's been a month and a half or so since I bought the Blazer, right?
Yep.
And as our friend James Chartres of Kanga Motorsports so kindly pointed out, it would only be a matter of time before I was bitching about all of those things breaking.
Uh-oh, what broke?
Because it's so fancy. It's got all these options, blah, blah, blah. I hate all these, because I've always been the less is more.
You want the crank windows.
The less is more
You're
guy.
the crank windows guy.
For my cars, So nothing's broken yet, like severely, but I have a few quirks and a few complaints about the vehicle overall that I kind of want to talk about.
Okay.
So first of all, I can't for the life of me figure out why, but the left turn signal flashes quickly like there's a bulb out, but I've gone around and checked them all. They work. So there's, I don't know, an electrical issue of some kind somewhere in there that's
You have the wrong bulb.
it might be just that simple. I just haven't spent.
That'd be my first guess. Because when
Yeah.
I switched, when the 240, I took away the turn signals in the front.
Right.
So then I rewired them to run the bulbs on my side lights instead of having like daytime running lights. So now my blinkers are way up top, which I'm sure is illegal. But because those bulbs,
Of all the things you have to worry about.
right? Because I spliced them in and I did a bunch of like weird wiring to make it work. Mine flashed really fast too, and not only that, they also flash fast on the outside.
And I think I think if I remember right, Michael, you said something about having that problem on the Camaro and just turned out to be the wrong kind of bulb.
Yeah, I went and replaced all the bulbs on the Camaro and it fixed it.
So I can probably do that, but I just don't.
Well, they work, so who cares?
Yeah, exactly. They're all working. They just want to.
It's just kind of annoying.
Something's weird. It's probably a simple fix, and frankly, I don't care. That's not a real big deal at all. Another mild annoyance is that the gear indicator lights and the odometer down on the bottom of the gauge cluster randomly light up. Most of the time it's dark, and if you push on it, they'll light up. Apparently there's a loose solder joint in there. That's really annoying too. The thing that is the most annoying for me so far is that the windshield wipers, so you know how GM in the 90s you clicked it when you turn the dial that's on the turn signal stock. It's all those delay speeds and then low and high at the very top.
Yep.
You have to turn it all the way to low, and then you can turn it back down to the delay speed you want, and it'll work. But if you just turn it to the delay speed, they never start.
Man, you got electrical gremlins everywhere.
Who knows? And then the rear windshield wiper doesn't work at all. The motor tries to run, doesn't move at all.
Like you can hear it just.
Yeah. It's like grinding in there. Again, probably a simple fix. Frankly, don't care about that either.
Nah.
The windshield wipers, I can work around, but it is really annoying. And then, I don't know why, and you'd think that this would be the same as my S10, but it's not apparently. The steering feel in that vehicle there is none.
It's got the big GM power steering pump.
You have no feedback, but the S10 was fine. It actually felt really good to drive in
Is it
the
different?
Extreme. You would think they're the same steering box, but maybe they're not. I don't know.
Could be different pumps, different
Yeah, I would
motors.
say I'd be curious.
Yeah,
what
it
the
might be
pumps look
different
like.
motors. That could be. But I have no steering feel. I hate it so much. I hate the way that feels when you drive down the road.
Like you're just driving a boat.
Yeah, you feel like you're floating, and I despise it. Apparently, that's
I can see why you would hate that.
Apparently, that's the luxury feel, and some people are like all about it. I hate it.
I can't stand it.
I want to have some feedback, and I want to have some resistance to the turn. I don't want to have to crank. I mean,
I want as much resistance as possible without really
being annoying.
being without one. Yep.
Yeah, and this has none, and I despise it.
My work truck is an Aspen, and I can spin it with a finger. I hate it. It's like so. The problem is though, if you hit a bump, like you hit a severe enough bump, your arm moves and the whole vehicle jostles because you twist the steering wheel accidentally when you hit a bump. I don't like it.
I don't blame you. I can't remember the last time I've seen an Aspen.
Yeah, I don't know how I ended up with an Aspen, but it's got leather seats, and heated seats. I don't bitch about it that much.
I guess, but an Aspen, damn.
Yep.
I don't know.
Chrysler Aspen.
Like, did you draw the short stick on that, or
No,
the long?
because I've got probably the nicest work truck.
That's what I mean. Like, it's probably pretty comfortable and quite
Yeah.
nice, but at the same time, it's an Aspen.
It's got like the fakest fake wood interior I've ever seen in my
Right.
entire life. I'm sure it was hugely expensive when it was new. I think it's like a 20, I don't even know what year it is. 2013, 2011, something like that. I'm not really sure. It doesn't have that many miles on it, but and it was a hand-me-down. Somebody else had it before I did, but it's like the cheapest, shittiest interior. I mean, it's that Chrysler pre-bailout engineering interior that's made
So
out
bad.
of like cereal boxes.
Yeah.
Two melted down Barbie dolls and
recycled
stuff like that.
multiple times.
Yeah,
plastics.
It's complete garbage, and nothing matches, nothing lines up. It drives me nuts that some of the trim's black and some of it's tan because it's tan. It's a tan interior, and like but then some of it's silver. So it's a tan interior with like spray can silver with some fake like amber colored wood, and then some black trim too.
Oh, it's that like bright,
That's awful.
almost yellowish wood.
Yeah. There's a guitar behind you. It's
Kinda
not
like
that color. It's probably more like that. See that guitar over there? The edge of that?
Yeah.
On the outside?
Yeah,
it's
that
like that
darkish.
color.
But it's painfully fake.
Oh, it's super fake. And it just feels like thin plastic. Like if you tap on it, it's just thin plastic. It's just, somebody paid a lot of money for it when it was new. But I would have liked to have seen what the equivalent like Mercedes would have been. Like what could you have bought equivalently from Mercedes? And then just sit in that. And then go sit in the Aspen and go, oh my God, this is awful.
The cheapest car that Mercedes sold in America at the time, probably.
Yeah.
And that, which is fairly high up in their line at the time. And I bet you the Mercedes was heads and tails.
Yeah,
better.
because it's a fancy Durango is what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's the
that's what they
Durango
are.
before the current one. So
Right.
it's one model
Right.
before that.
I've never been in one, but I kind of like the new Durango.
The new
look of
Durango's
it,
nice. I've always
It's a
kinda
cool
liked the
looking.
Durango. I don't know why.
Everything's nice about it. Interior's nice. They got their shit together right after this.
A lot of people argue about that. A lot of people say they still don't have their shit together, and I haven't been in enough of the real new ones to really make or break an argument on that. so.
They all say the 200's complete garbage. I don't think it's as bad as anybody says that it is. The new 200, there was one transitional one between the Sebring that was garbage.
Yeah.
But the new one, I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. I think the problem is it still has like that old Chrysler reputation,
Is
and
that a
people will
Dart?
not let it go. Yeah, and I drove the Dart. I like the Dart.
Is the 200 a Dart though?
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah, more or
I
less.
saw a Dart that was like slammed way down and making blow off noises and shit, and I was
Yep.
like, that's kind of cool. I
Yeah.
kind of dig it.
I like the Dart. I like the 200. I mean, you get what you pay for. You can get one with like all-wheel drive and the 3.6 liter engine with discounts for like $25,000.
If they would have
like,
made
what
an
do you
SRT
want?
Dart, it would have been.
What do
Great.
you people want? I mean, seriously. You
Yeah.
can get a discount on a Chrysler. You can't get a discount on the equivalent Toyota. You'll pay
Right.
full price for that.
Right. And they can't build them fast enough.
Yeah, so just quit bitching about everything.
And they're all beige.
They are all beige.
So
So do you suppose, now that Adam has realized that his new vehicle is just full of problems, can't stand
it's
driving
abysmally
it,
terrible.
he's
I don't
super
like it.
bored driving it all
He's
day.
bored as shit. I
I-
can see it right now.
And we know.
He has to drive it a lot.
And we know.
Actually, I've been driving the Focus because, number one, it gets almost double the gas mileage. And number two, it's actually kind of fun to drive outside of the fact that it's an automatic. Like the steering response and stuff like that, it's kind of peppy and it feels really good. And apparently has the same steering box as the Ford GT.
What?
From that, the old one. The
05?
The 05, yeah. Apparently they have the same steering box.
Come on, Ford, get it together. But
Man,
anyways,
they put fucking Taurus motors in their
So I-
the
supercar.
new ones, yeah.
I've been driving the Focus because I don't want to drive the Blazer. That's how much I don't like the steering feel in the Blazer.
What do you think the steering feel feels like in that Shelby that's for sale in Newton?
I bet it feels awesome.
I bet it's
Is
got
it even?
less-
Does it even have power steering?
I bet it's got less
Yes.
electrical gremlins.
It probably does.
No, what I really need to do is go buy that RV that I sent you for $1,900. That 1973 Winnebago Star Chief or Chieftain or whatever it was.
Oh God,
Dude,
What's that got in a 454? You get 2 miles to the gallon.
dude, that
gonna
thing.
say
But did you see it? It was hideous.
It was
and it
awful.
was super 70s, but it was minty fresh clean.
it was well maintained.
It was really clean. Even the toilet had shag on it, though. Did you
yeah,
see
dude.
that?
It was
throw
like
that away right away.
It was like green velour on
yeah,
everything.
Everything was green, brown, or yellow.
Brown wood paneling, brown fake wood paneling, green velour.
The countertop
stupid-
was that baby puke green from the 70s.
Man,
But $1,900 runs and drives.
Well, that was when I sent him one that was they wanted 900 for it,
$900
and it,
bucks
and it
for it.
runs and drives.
But that one looked like it was a lot more rough.
it needed more work.
I would spend the extra $1,000 on the one I found, just because then I'm done with it. It looked ready to go. That thing was sweet. But one more thing about the Blazer, then we can move on. I'm assuming that they're very similar in wheelbase to the Blazer and the S10. The Blazer's probably a little bit longer because the S10 was a regular cab. The Blazer's a 4-door. But just because it's significantly higher up in the air, it feels so much bigger. I don't like that either.
You're gonna have to sell it, bro.
You have to.
Like everybody always talks about, like that's why they want crossover SUVs instead of station wagons or whatever. They want those big vehicles because they want to be up higher and stuff like that. I kind of hate it. I guess I'm weird like that, but I don't like it.
I guess I didn't mind it when I went to the Trailblazer, but it's got really heavy steering, really heavy.
It's a heavy car.
It is a heavy
And
car.
I think it's lower than my Blazer.
it might be. That's true. It might
because
be.
it's the SS. It's bigger, but I think it's lower.
Robbie, what are your feelings on crossover SUVs?
I despise
Now that you've had a couple
crossovers,
of
by
them.
the way.
They could be awesome, but they're not.
No, they're not.
They're so practical.
For the reasons
They are
that
very
people buy
practical.
crossovers, they should just buy minivans.
They're also very practical.
Minivans, I'm actually more okay with than crossover SUVs.
So what you're telling us is you're going to sell the Blazer
And
and,
get a
buy a
minivan.
Grand Caravan
I'm
with
with
a turbo.
I'm not that far off.
Oh boy!
Whoa.
Oh boy! He crested that. He did you notice? You remember, if you go back and I don't know if it's on the
Probably.
podcast, but he said it.
Someone can
I
tell
will
us.
not be caught fucking dead with a minivan.
Oh, I'm sure that I probably said that, but in all reality,
2018 is the year.
if I
How
had
old
to
are you?
take,
30, 31?
if I had to take Robbie's old Rav or a minivan, it'd be a minivan all day long.
Oh,
Fuck
boy.
that.
Oh, boy.
All day long.
The RAV4 is one of the greatest vehicles ever.
Ever, huh?
But anyways, no, realistically, the RAV4 was an incredibly well-built all-wheel drive machine.
It was, but for the reason that most people buy those, it's incredibly flawed. And an equivalent van would have served them much, much better.
Well,
They never used those four-wheel drive capabilities.
I used it.
No, but the average consumer did not. And a van would have been because they bought it because they
would have
wanted
been
to.
twice the size, though. This is the RAV4.
Yeah, the
small.
old Ravs are real small.
I can understand your argument for a Rogue,
Yeah.
but even that's not near as big as a van
Right.
because the Rogue is terrible. But the RAV4, I mean, that's a hell of a vehicle. 317,000 miles. No mechanical.
You're not going to convince
That
Robbie
doesn't
against
make
the
it
Rav.
good.
Yes,
It kind of does make
The
it
two door manual one, all about it.
That's an illegal.
All about it.
The 2002 with 317,000 miles and like $2,000 worth of maintenance outside of like oil and tires. Yeah, that's an amazing vehicle.
I'm just not into it. You can do that.
I don't think that's his point. You don't have to be into it.
I
It's
didn't
just
say-
as a
no,
vehicle,
it's-
as a
I
transportation
understand.
device.
I understand that it's fine as a transportation device, but I think that the reason people buy crossovers doesn't make any sense when you could buy a minivan instead.
That's different. That's like that's a 7-passenger large thing.
Most people want their 3-row SUVs, though. Why don't you just buy a minivan? That third row's all but useless in
That's
in an
now
SUV.
now we're comparing Suburbans and minivans.
You
Not
could get
RAV4s.
3-row crossovers, heavy air quotes.
No, that's a Suburban. That's a.
They just don't have
That's
any
an
back
SUV.
seat or any cargo space behind that third row.
It's not a realistic amount of space
No,
back there.
that's
yeah,
an
it's
SUV.
useless.
That's
I
not a
could
CUV.
pack more in a Golf than I could in those.
So
I just don't
anyway,
get it.
you heard it here first. Adam is going to buy a minivan.
No,
Oh,
let's not
yeah.
get carried away.
That's what you said. I'm pretty sure that's what you said. You're going to sell the Blazer and you're going to buy a minivan. That's what I heard.
If I end up with a minivan, it'll be because Katie needs to drive a minivan, not
Sure.
not because I.
Whatever-
I'm
whatever-
gonna keep
whatever,
driving.
dude, it's whatever.
I'm gonna keep
Whatever,
driving that
man.
piece of shit Focus till it falls apart.
However you want to
'cause
label it, dude, that's totally up to you.
I'm gonna get the 250,000 miles on that Focus.
It's not a RAV4.
Yeah, it's not going to make
It's
three.
not gonna make it
It's not going to make it
317.
up to 300 for sure. Might
Not
make
the
it
way I
250.
treat it. Fuck no.
Well, that's on you.
I beat the shit out of
You
it.
got to maintain your stuff, man. Maybe-
You know, all you're going to get on the group now is a bunch of people telling you how to fix your shit.
Yeah,
You've created
probably.
You've created this own problem.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So first of all, I don't give a shit about the turn signals, so stop typing. I don't care. Secondly,
It's already posted,
the windshield washer thing, or the windshield wipers in the front. That's probably gonna be way more work than I want to fucking deal with. So I'm not gonna do it. Stop typing. The rear windshield wiper thing, totally inconsequential to me. So stop typing about that. And the gauge cluster, the odometer still ticks up. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not broken. Moving on.
your speedometer work?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Everything works. It's just that the lights don't come on all the time.
When I was in high school, my friend had a really crappy like Dodge Caravan that his parents basically gave to him when he turned
Right.
16.
Right.
And we played Guess the Speed. His speedometer lights didn't work, so we'd just be driving down the highway, and he'd be like, "Well, how fast do you think we're going?" And he'd pull out his cell phone. No, 85. We should probably slow down a little bit. It was also the
He would hold it up to the dash so he could see it.
Uh-huh.
He would
Yeah, 'cause
illuminate
that
it
was
with the
back
phone.
when they sure as hell didn't
yeah,
have
it was like the-
lights on them.
It was like a flip phone.
Yeah.
I also
You
remember
just
one
hold
time
the screen up to it.
he must have like taken it off road or something, like in the ditch.
Oh, God.
And we went to Sioux Falls one time, and basically the steering wheel had to be clocked at like 35 degrees, maybe even further, just to drive straight. And it was really windy. And he's like, "Check this out." And he lets go, and it straightens the wheel out. And it's so windy that we can drive with the wheel straight. And then we go under a bridge, and all of a sudden it just darts,
Oh, God.
darts to the ditch. I thought we were gonna
God.
die. Good times.
I'm surprised you're
Yeah.
still with us, Robbie.
Friends are crazy.
All your accidents, motorcycle accidents.
Plus, you got that poison machine in the corner.
Oh yeah. Robbie's pissed about my humidifier, bro. It's dry outside.
It is dry. I got a big humidifier.
You know where it's really
I
dry?
fired
In the
up.
hospital when they're taking blood samples when they can't figure out what that machine did to you.
It's not killed me yet.
It almost killed me.
Robbie's looking
Robbie
at it
basically
side-eyed.
is
No, I know,
associates
it's-
humidifiers with death
poison.
machines.
It's a poison machine.
I'll at least do it for you, Robbie.
When was the last time you cleaned that thing?
Don't worry about it.
Has he got mold in it? My mold was clear. Keep that in mind.
It's probably got mold in it for sure.
My mold was clear.
It was. No humidifiers. Dry skin all life, forever.
No,
Nope.
absolutely
Lotion.
not.
Lotion.
Can't do that with all these
It
guitars.
puts the
It's
lotion
not an
on the
option.
skin. You don't even play these guitars.
It doesn't mean that they're not worth preserving.
Just
This
don't
is,
tou-
dude,
just
this
don't
is my
touch 'em.
retirement.
This is a collection.
This is my retirement,
Robbie.
dude.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, fine.
It's my retirement.
Just
Gotta
like
keep
you
this shit.
collect Ferraris and don't drive them.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Your dog's gonna knock those on the floor one day.
No,
I'm
these are
surprised
all
he
high-
hasn't.
These are all
Being-
professional
being
stands. What are you
such
talking
a-
about?
Such a high-strung.
I worked at a
little
music
man.
store for a lot of years. These are all professional stands. All of them are hung from the neck. See, those have closers on them. Can't knock them out.
What did those cost?
What, the
Don't
stand
ask
or the
those
guitar?
questions.
Yeah.
Why would you ask that question, Robbie? That's
Because
impolite.
it puts you on the spot.
It's a very
I
impolite
do. I am
question.
kind of intrigued to know what a stand like that costs.
Oh, it's that stand? That stand's probably $55 or $65. If I had to guess.
What's a cheap stand?
$30?
Oh, so it's really not even like it's not even worth buying the cheap stand and crossing your fingers.
Probably not. No.
Even if you have cheap guitars, it's not worth not buying the nicer stand for that kind of money.
You might as well buy the nicer stand.
Yeah.
Maybe they're more than that now. I don't know. Maybe they're $80.
Yeah.
Is that it? Are you done questioning my humidifier and my guitars?
I'm not
You good?
questioning. I'm telling you, take that poison machine and turn
There's
it
no
off.
question about it. This is some flat Earth conspiracy shit. That thing's trying to kill you.
In the night?
It will succeed.
No, it won't, Robbie. Check out Eyes Up Auto Art, EYESUP Auto Art, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Check out what he's doing there. Make sure to send him a DM if you want him to do something of your car or if you have a significant other that wants a painting done. He will do that for you. It is November.
You're not going to get
the
one by
holiday
Christmas,
season.
I'm telling you right now.
You better, if
his
you want
list
one, you
was
better hit him
long.
up. Oh, was it?
It looked long.
If you want him, you better hit him up.
I don't
Nowish.
I don't think you're going to get
Send
it
him
by
a message
Christmas
now.
if you ask now.
Maybe he could send you a pic, like a.
You're on the list.
We could send you a picture of the painting that he's working on by Christmas. Maybe
There you
I don't
go.
know. Hit him up.
Yeah.
Never know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe if you're a
probably
well-paying customer, he will bump you up the list. I don't have a clue.
There's got to be an expedite.
There's
fee.
always a price, right?
Everybody has a price. So EYESUP Auto Art.
Go now.
Go now. What are we doing today, Robbie?
Well, it's winter, so we spend way too much time indoors. So we're going to talk about car guy movies
Word
and
up.
things to watch to occupy your time when you're not in the shop.
Robbie, you're kind of a movie
Buff.
buff, I would suppose. You have a lot of movies.
Yeah,
you enjoy movies.
I'm a movie nerd. I like to watch movies.
If you go back and listen to the beginnings of the podcast when I would rearrange his DVD collection, he would get very
what
angry.
a jerk. Who does that?
He was right next to me. It was very easy just to take a DVD and put it out of alphabetical order.
That being said, my digital copies of movies are based on when I downloaded them versus they're not in alphabetical order.
But you could change that.
I can change that, yes.
I don't know which was funnier, you were rearranging the DVDs or him bitching about you putting rings on his plastic table.
Yeah, because it was
I
plastic.
like to take care
Robbie.
of my stuff,
It was
man.
plastic.
It's plastic though, Robbie.
Which means no, it's like particle board, so it soaks in. It gets
yeah, but
even
it's,
worse.
it's like Formica on top of it, though.
It'll be
Do
all
you
right.
even have that table anymore?
oh god, no.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
No, he's in an estate now.
Yeah,
He's got like
exactly.
one made of solid
It's
mahogany.
mahogany. Yeah, it's mahogany and
No,
walnut.
the dining room table is solid mahogany that
Oh,
like six
Jesus.
pygmies had to die to bring it over,
Jesus.
and then the table in the living room is marble. Duh.
You could have a glass table to cut up your Coke.
No, it's a mirror on top.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
It's an estate. It's not. This isn't
I'm not in Miami.
Las Vegas in the
Oh,
80s.
my bad.
Calm down over there. Getting your shit mixed up.
But yeah, I like to watch movies. And I had a roommate in college, and he said to me one time, he goes, you know what? I think he was really, really busy that week. He goes, you know what? If I can't come home and spend 2 hours just doing nothing at the end of the day, my life's not worth living. Like, I think he was just like
That's a little-
swamped.
that's kinda dramatic.
He was just swamped that
He's a
week.
desperate man.
He just wanted to come home and watch like 10 minutes of TV and just go to bed. But yeah, but he's got merit to it. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's nice to sit down and unwind. So I like to watch movies. So I've seen a lot of movies. So we'll just make a list of movies that I think are like car guy movies and movies that people claim are car guy movies, and see what ones you've
you're
seen,
gonna talk
or if
about
I can tell you if they're worth seeing. And there's even some on this list I haven't seen.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
There's not many.
Hopefully one of us have seen it then at least.
If it's older, you probably have.
I see the
That's fair.
first one on this list. you are lightly obsessed with?
It is the greatest car movie ever.
Rush.
Rush. It is the be-all, end-all of car guy movies. Because it truly captures like the essence of like racing and the
Competitive spirit
there you go.
of racing.
There you go. Good words, you wordsmith.
I don't know if
I
it's
would
the
hardly
greatest.
call myself that.
I don't know if it's
I
the
appreciate
greatest
it.
car movie of all time, but you are partial to racing,
Yeah, it's
competitive racing, Robbie. So
true. Yeah, I suppose it's
Especially
I can see-
Formula One.
I can see
and
how
that was
that-
the glory days.
see how that speaks to you.
yeah.
It's
It
definitely
is a
not
really
bad
good movie.
Put it that way.
It is a very good movie.
Yeah,
I
no, it's
enjoy
def-
watching it. It's one I can watch
Over
more
and
than
over.
once.
Yeah, it's got Ron Howard directing it, Chris Hemsworth leading it, and then it's loosely based on the Nicky Lauda James Hunt rivalry.
Yep.
And
I
I say
remember
I say
you-
loosely because people actually think that that's how it went.
I remember you talking about how part of the reason you like it so much is because you want to be both of those guys.
Yes,
Part of you wishes you were Nicky Lauda, but part of you also wishes you lived like James Hunt.
absolutely. Who doesn't want to be the guy that's snorting blow, banging all the sleuths, and then
In the 70s.
in the 70s, and then there's also Nicky Lauda, who's so calculated and he's like driven.
He's a
and-
very engineering mind.
yes, so I relate to both characters. There's the fantasy life that I'll never get to live, and then there's the boring.
yeah,
like,
dude, you've officially written that life
Done.
off at this point.
Not happening.
Engaged house.
Too old for that
You
shit.
bought a mower. I think as soon as you buy a mower, you've written off any sort of fantasy life in that
That's
Yeah.
fine.
at that particular level.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I've made my choice. I accept it.
It's still fun to dream, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's no harm in that.
I've never done coke, but I can pretend that in my head, in my fantasies, that I'm doing coke.
You be you, Robbie.
Yeah,
you do
Coke's
you
a hell
do-
of a drug.
It is
right?
a hell of a drug. And he died at 45 with a heart attack. I'm just saying.
But he went out with a
Yeah,
bang.
he lived life hard.
Was it
there's
45?
No doubt.
It was young. It was super
It was
young.
pretty young.
He
I
just-
don't remember.
Heart stopped.
It's hard
just
to
gave
live
out.
like that for very long.
Yeah. No, that's obviously my number one. Like if someone goes, "Hey, what's a good movie?" Rush. Stop what you're doing. Go buy it. Watch it. Rush.
So, in that same vein, whenever someone talks about Rush, I can't help but think about Driven,
That's on the list. We can jump to it.
which I don't. There's a lot of that about that movie that I don't like.
It's super. It's cheesy. It's super
It's
cheesy.
very cheesy.
I mean, the racing scenes are pretty good.
But until you had Rush, it was about all you got for
Especially-
Formula
yeah,
One
for like
movies.
open wheel racing,
right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because that was Indy, wasn't it?
I don't think it was officially anything.
Okay, that's fair. But the scene where he's picking up the quarters, I hate that scene. I hate it so much.
I don't even know. I don't know what this movie is.
So, Sylvester Stallone is the driver, is he not?
He's the guy that comes out of retirement.
right. He comes back.
Okay,
to,
I'm already
to-
out.
right. So
Can't
this
fucking
is
understand
this
it.
is super 80s tastic. It might have been
It's early-
90s,
it's 90s.
but it's an older movie.
Okay.
And it's about a guy who's comes back out of retirement and makes his rise back up.
To mentor the rookie.
Right, to mentor the rookie, but he's racing at the same time. And there's a scene where he's out testing at night, and
It's not at night, but
It's not, I thought
it's
it
his
was.
first time back testing since he retired. So you're assuming it's been a handful of years.
did he lay down the quarters?
Yep, he drives around in circle or drives around the track, and then like at these main turns, he flips a quarter out
Yeah.
onto the track.
Okay.
So then he does the lap to kick the rear end
And
out.
the rookie's watching.
Yeah, so he kicks the rear end out to catch the quarter on the tire.
Okay.
And
So
it
he-
sticks.
Okay.
So then he gets all the way through the lap, and then they spin the tire, and there's only 2 quarters out of the 3.
Okay.
And then he goes, oh, the rookie goes, oh well, maybe next time we get all 3, and then he spins it, and of course the third one's on the other side of the tire. Just like
Okay.
But so first of all, they wouldn't stick.
not through a whole lap.
Like
No, not a whole
like
lap.
at
There's no
all,
way to
let
fly
alone
off.
a whole lap. Secondly, I don't care how precise and perfect of a driver you are, you're not going to be picking up quarters off of an oval at 200 miles an hour. It's just not going to happen.
No, it wasn't an oval. It was around like a.
I could have swore it was on an oval.
It wasn't an oval.
It's been a really long time since I've seen this movie. So I watched it once and I was like, it was okay. I'm not going to watch it
I watched it a
twice.
handful of times, but yeah, it's
I think you might have lended it to me to watch at some point.
really.
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
But it's bad.
Okay.
But it's also kind of good. So if you haven't seen it, it's worth watching once.
It's definitely worth.
Okay.
If you have the opportunity, watch it.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely you don't go into it going, okay,
This is the best
This
movie
is
ever.
the movie.
This is it.
This is no 200 miles an hour. Is that
No
what you're telling
Days
me?
of Thunder. Let's be real.
Days
here.
of Thunder's no, absolutely not.
right, you guys are-
Stupid.
I go way out of order.
We're
here.
fucking Robbie's order on
Yeah,
Superman.
just
totally
I'm
worth
just
it.
gonna
Just be quiet.
just
be
gonna
quiet.
delete
Let
him
do
as
his-
we
Let
go.
him do his thing. What's your next one, Robbie?
Days of Thunder.
Are we okay? We're doing Days of Thunder now.
I don't know that I've ever actually seen it from start
I
to
don't
finish.
think I have either.
I have
and
seen
I've
it
only
from
seen it
start
on
to
TV.
finish like once or twice.
Right, I think I've seen like bits and pieces here and there on TV.
And there's too much Tom Cruise in there for me to want to watch that.
It's just Top Gun with race cars, isn't
It's
it?
exactly what it is. It's like the same team that did Top Gun. We're
Is
like,
there all
you know
that-
what? Let's do a NASCAR movie.
Is there all that homoerotic stuff going on
There's
there?
a lot less homoerotic
Okay.
stuff. But he has like my dream garage
Oh, I'm sure.
because he's got like this old barn that he's converted into his 2-story shop. So when he was building the NASCAR, took like tube chassis in the top half of his barn, and it just kind of like it's half built into the ground, so you just roll up into the top half if you want. It was super neat.
For some reason, I thought that was a driven scene, but maybe not. Apparently, that's a Days of Thunder.
That's a Days
scene.
of Thunder scene.
That's how distinct those movies are in my mind. So,
But yeah, it's Tom Cruise as a rookie NASCAR driver who's a hothead, pisses people off, likes to yell at people. I thought it was pretty good, especially
Maybe
for
now
it's a painfully '90s movie.
I was gonna say. I think now it
But-
feels really lazy.
what I think is funny is that movie could come out now and it would still fit NASCAR today.
Oh, without a doubt.
Nothing in that movie has changed in NASCAR.
Don't say that they're gonna remake it.
I'm
well,
sure.
I'm
They're gonna fucking
surprised they
remake it
haven't.
now.
Tom Cruise will star in it
You've
too.
planted that seed. Somebody's gonna remake it now.
See, I'm not a big fan of Tom Cruise, so that was like my biggest hang up on the movie. Like, I like the movie. I'm not a big fan of Tom Cruise. I don't know why. I have no reason to hate him.
As an actor, I don't. As a human being, I have some issues with some of the things he's
See, I don't like him as an
involved
actor either.
in.
Yeah.
But as an actor, I don't have any reason to dislike him. But because I don't like him as a person, I have a hard time liking him as an actor. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I
Can't
absolutely,
separate
I
it.
absolutely get that.
So,
All right. Anyway, what's next?
Another one that I think is one of the greatest car movies, the remake of Gone in 60 Seconds.
has anybody ever seen the original?
I saw like 10 minutes of it. It was pretty terrible.
I can't do old movies. I just can't.
It's like I hate watching old westerns.
See it.
I hate it.
My mom
They're
loves
so
it.
boring.
I know, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, "This is the greatest movie
Yeah.
ever, dude. What's your problem?"
You got to
I'm like,
watch Desperado or Bonanza or
Blazing no,
No.
Blazing
Blazing
Saddles
Saddles
is a
fucking
great
awesome.
movie. I love that movie.
Hang 'em High. Hang 'em High was the one that my mom always
I
liked.
can't do it.
See, I could probably do those better than like the old like action movies, like the race car movies from like.
See,
the
I'd
70s.
rather watch the old action movies.
No,
than
they're
the
god
old-
awful.
they're
It's so
terrible.
slow. Dialogue's
yeah.
so slow. Movie's long.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing
Weird
happens.
gaps in it.
Yep. But yeah, the new Gone in 60
new one's
Seconds.
great.
I watched that movie constantly when I was like 14, 15 years old. It just
This is probably one of the top of my list.
Yeah,
I love this movie. It's great.
it's up there for me. Yeah, the jump scene really bugs me, but the rest of it's a good movie.
yeah, I think that was like homage to the.
Yeah, I
original
think it
one,
was
'cause,
something
like that.
similar in the original.
I couldn't
It
tell you if it's true.
amazes me how many people believe that Eleanor car was a real
I did. When I was
like the
14.
production car. That's what they looked like, and that was a thing. It amazes me how many people believe that those are.
That's what
That was what it looked like as a car in the '60s.
Well, yeah. See, when I was younger, I always saw that's a GT 500,
Right,
because
exactly.
I mean, it's a totally different body kit. Like it's they made that for the movie. It's a movie car.
You could buy those cars.
Absolutely.
At some point, you could, but that is
Not like that.
that is not a no. You
Now you can, or you
somebody
could have.
somebody
not-
made
Not
that
prior
kit.
to that,
Not-
though.
not-
Not in the '60s
No. Yeah, so that got made and then modified for
because
the
it
movie
was so
later.
popular in the movie. There were
Okay,
people
yep.
making them afterwards.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I grew up thinking that was what a GT 500 was.
Right,
So when
lots
I saw
of people
when
do.
I saw a GT 500 for the first time, I was like, no,
That's really
That's
boring.
a piece of shit. That's a replica. That's
Yeah.
like that's somebody half done.
Yeah,
Great movie though.
It is a great movie.
Angelina Jolie.
Oh, she's so trashy and so hot.
She is super trash.
That
mess.
is my favorite Angelina Jolie movie.
super trash mess for sure.
She's
I
got her
actually
blonde
really like
dreads.
Nicolas Cage in general. I think he's
Really?
pretty, I kind of like him.
I have my moments.
I
with
really
him.
like him.
I have my moments with him where I think he's.
I know
he's-
that this is gonna
he's
be like
Tom
a
Cruise
really-
crazy as well.
I know that. Oh yeah, he is, but he's like crazy in a good way. He's like got a 747 or some like pulled up to his house and all kinds of crazy shit. I just love it.
Wouldn't
I have
be
no
surprised.
And like, this is probably a really unpopular opinion, but I think like National Treasure, those are great movies.
I've never seen those.
I love them. I think they're great. I like Nicolas Cage.
That's all right.
So
I like him in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Him and Angelina Jolie in that movie together. It
works.
It's as good as it gets, frankly.
Yeah, who'd have thought a movie about stealing cars would really capture the desire about loving cars?
Anyway, what's next, Robbie?
We could talk about a movie about stealing cars, and it's new, and I know neither one of you has seen it.
What is it?
Overdrive.
Nope, not
Is this
seen
like
it.
is this a terrible B movie?
No, it's not a B movie, although if the budget was any less, it would be. So it's got Scott Eastwood in it, and I think it's like a European movie. I don't think it's actually an American movie.
Is that a name I should know?
It's Clint Eastwood's son.
Oh, okay.
He's been in a handful of things, including the Fast and the Furious ones, the recent ones. So you wouldn't have seen them. But so it's two brothers stealing these super high-end exotics from like the 60s, and it's terrible. The driving scenes are really good.
Is it set in the 60s?
No. It's modern day. So they're stealing these like the $13 million cars from these.
Oh, I gotcha.
Super well-off rich people, criminal types, of course. So it gets all sketchy.
They're Robin Hood type of deal?
No, they're stealing for themselves, but then they get caught, and then they have to steal from this other bad guy to pay off this other bad guy.
Oh, man, classic
Is that-
conundrum.
Is that like a newer movie, like just recently came out?
Yes.
I think I saw trailers for it and wanted to see it, but then never did.
Don't go out of your way to watch it.
Is it like on Netflix? Is it available?
I'm sure it will be on Netflix.
Okay.
It has to be. But like, I mean, the people that did it, I can't remember if they did the original part of the original Fast and the Furious or something. So like the action scenes are really well shot. So like when they're stealing the cars or the driving scenes are really good. The acting's terrible. The storyline's pretty bad. The guy's love interest is super hot, so that helps.
Obviously.
Naturally. But yeah, if you want to turn your brain off and watch cars get stolen and then drive real fast and then think that a $13 million car is about to get wrecked, watch it.
This is your movie?
Yeah, but...
I'm in. You sold me on it, Robbie. I'm in.
Yeah.
What's next?
This is a really good old movie that I've actually watched.
Okay.
Le Mans.
Le Mans.
I have never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
You'll really like it.
I'm sure I would. I want to see it.
This is Steve McQueen wanted to race at Le Mans.
Right.
So he brought a film crew and said, all right, we're filming a movie. Just so he could race at Le Mans.
Which is the ballsiest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
So the movie starts. 37 minutes is all you get, is driving. Then the dialogue starts. 37 minutes of nothing but driving at Le Mans.
I'm sold.
It is just pure like Porsche the 917, the old.
I think that's the right gen.
It's just those cars howling for 37 minutes before they even start talking. It's racing like just. It's not a good movie, but it's awesome to watch the old school racing. I have no idea what they talk about in the whole movie. It's just
skip the dialogue, watch the race sequences, move on.
Yeah, and well, I mean, there's no dialogue to skip. It's just almost 2 hours of just.
That seems really. I can't believe it. He had to have self-funded that, right?
I don't think he did. I think he convinced.
How did he sell that?
I think he convinced the movie people to do it, and then there was like no script. It's just like they're going to show up and film him race, and then they'll add the script later.
There's got to be like that's got to have like a terrible Rotten Tomatoes rating. If it has one.
I think it's like a cult classic.
Really, you would think that would just not work well for anybody because like we were talking about with the westerns, they're slow and the dialogue's terrible. Like 37 minutes of silence, basically.
It's 6.8 on IMDb. It's the 63% on Rotten Tomatoes.
6.8 out of
10.
Out of 10. I mean, it's not the worst. It's probably better than
it's
zombie strippers.
Yeah, but you love that movie.
It was a great movie.
But yeah, it's not a very good movie, but it's a great car guy. Like, just sit around and listen to noises.
Something you have while you're cleaning the house or something like that.
No, you got to pay attention to like the racing. It's cool.
Oh, okay.
What's next?
The Fast and the Furious.
All 19 of them.
There's going to be 10 total.
I thought it was 12.
No, they've been greenlit for 10, which is insane.
What are they on?
They keep making more money
8.
every single time.
That's the problem.
They're
You
never going to
idiots-
stop.
You idiots keep going to the movie theater and giving them money. Just stop. They'll stop making them if you stop going to the theater.
Yeah, don't
Just
complain
stop.
about it. If you go and see them, if you pay for it in any way, shape, or form, don't complain
That's the
about
thing.
it.
I hear so many people say, they were terrible, but I'm going to go watch the next one.
Yeah, so they're still going to make them. They don't care what you think about them.
No.
If you give them money, they're going to keep making them. It's not even really about cars anymore. What fucking difference does it make?
Right.
They figured out a formula
Was
that
it
works.
really
that they
about
can
cars
sell.
to begin with?
The first one was. It was street racing. I mean,
The one that was the most about cars is the one that everyone hates the most.
oh, no, that can't be true anymore.
Tokyo Drift, that's the one that everyone hates the most.
No
and
way.
that was the one that was most about cars.
I don't know. Do people really hate
I
Tokyo
don't
Drift
think
as
so.
much now?
Nobody hates Tokyo Drift.
Well, I think
See,
people
I've heard
do
a
hate
lot of
Tokyo
people
Drift.
talk about
Well,
how much they don't like that movie.
In respect to the Fast and the Furious movies, I get why people didn't like it because it had nothing to do with the
Yeah, it was just
storyline.
weird. It was just a
It was like,
wild
they're
card.
just throwing the Fast and Furious name on another car movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that complaint. But yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
So I think if you go, like if you went to your office and you polled people, what was your least favorite? When you get a lot of non-car guy people, they're going to say Tokyo Drift. That's the problem with that.
I don't know because like anyone that I've talked to about the last two, like 7 and 8, they're just garbage.
I don't think I've seen the last. I think I quit at 6.
I
The
quit.
thing where
really
they
like-
jump the supercar through the building
I
into
saw
the
that
other
one.
tower.
Which one is
That's
that?
7.
I have no idea.
That's 7?
7.
I watched that.
See, the first one's good. I liked it. The second one is very cheesy and the budget sucks.
But I still liked it.
But it's
It's
awesomely
terrible. It's pretty
It's
bad.
got so many great
One-liner,
one-liners.
yep. And
Oh,
then
man.
Tokyo Drift.
Cars are so stupid now. Cars are awful in that one.
It's terrible. That was the epitome of like
That
racer
Gen of
culture.
Eclipse, like, nothing was good about that car.
No.
They came with terrible motors.
No.
They were slow. Like,
They looked bad.
they didn't look good. Like, why would they even waste their time? And then that Lancer was so obviously not
An Evo.
the Evo because they, like,
Well, the weird thing about that movie, too, is that they race the guys with the muscle cars to get the muscle cars so that they don't have to drive the rice rockets anymore. Like, the whole
because
thing
those
is...
were more low key. Wasn't that the deal? They were
No,
trying to
well,
get-
no. So
They
when
needed
they were,
something without electronics.
they had to go break.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
what it
right.
was.
Because
That's
they,
what it was.
They had to break into the guy's Ferrari in the shipping yard to get the package and bring it back to him.
get the job.
But you were supposed to be low key, and they're driving backwards down the fucking interstate and like running into pylons
Well,
and shit.
I think that's the one where the cops have the EMP hooks.
Yeah.
And if they have those muscle cars, then those wouldn't work because they don't have electronics in them.
Yeah.
Because apparently
That's
they
what
don't
it
have
was.
a basic understanding of how an ignition system works, regardless of what vehicle it's in. There's still some level of electronic that would be shut down by an EMP if it were a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah. So then 3's a really good car guy movie. You know, drifting.
love it.
It's a great flick. 4.
Don't know if I love it. It's got Bow Wow in it. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
But he's funny though.
The lead
He's all right.
character, they try to pass him off as a high schooler, and he looks like he's 35. That
He
that
played-
always bothered
He
me.
played a high schooler for many years after that because he was in like Friday Night Lights and a bunch of football.
Oh, yeah, he
movies.
was,
Oh,
wasn't he?
really?
Yeah. So like that was like his.
He got
beginning.
typecast as like a high school redneck.
Yes. I'd milk that too if I had that.
Well, yeah, if you're making that money, come on. Why wouldn't you?
And then 4 was not,
4 I've never seen.
It's like a drug running movie. It's not good.
Is that the one where the Subaru that doesn't
Yep.
have?
Yeah.
Okay,
Where
so,
where
okay, I
wreck-
remember
they
that
wreck
one.
They wreck the Subaru and then there's like it's completely gutted.
The drug running scene where they're running through the caves is very confusing to me because I feel like
That's
that
bad.
just
That's just bad.
yeah.
Everything.
It wouldn't end well for anybody at
No,
those
you're not gonna make-
alleged speeds.
No way. It's possible. And then the 5th one is not really a good car guy movie.
Which one is that one?
That's the heist where they steal all the money in Brazil.
Oh,
where
I
they're
think I've
dragging
seen
the
that one.
safe.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is this very stupid scene. Fast and Furious always has one really stupid scene.
Where they really just like
It's
you
way
should
over-
have done that.
That was when Dodge was like, we got to start pumping money into this bitch. They
Yep.
started giving them cars and
Yep.
stuff.
It's a good heist movie.
It is a good heist movie.
That's-
is that the
that's-
one where the race scene? They literally
Skip it.
they show up, they get the race started, and then they cut scene and cut back in, and it's them pulling into the garage with their race cars
That they
they
won.
won. Yeah, that's where they lost me.
Yeah, Adam checked out after that. I watched the 6th one and then refused to ever watch another one in theaters again. And I said, I
What
want
was
these.
6? Was that the airplane?
That's the airplane one.
Okay, so that one's
That's
bad
the
scene.
19-mile runway one
Yep, and that was
with the Alfa Romeos randomly in there. Front wheel drive cars.
Tearing it up.
Yep. So and they've been dramatically worse in my opinion ever since.
Yeah, because
They've
the
just
next
turned-
one, the bad scene, is the Lycan Hypersport.
Yep.
And then there's another one after that.
Fate of the Furious, the 8th, and that's where they drop. No, that's 7 where they drop the cars out of the airplane.
Yep.
Which is the one where the tank,
Eight.
where they're doing a chase scene with a tank.
There's 2 of them because I don't even know if I even finished 8 because they like
Is that the one where they have the escort Cosworth and
I think that was 8.
that's
the,
no
the blue escort Cosworth that I would fucking
that's
kill
6.
for?
That's 6.
Jesus, so
Yeah,
confusing.
because
that's
Paul
in Europe.
Walker's not in 8, is he?
Yeah, Paul Walker's in 7, and then he dies
Oh.
before it's even done.
I haven't seen 8 then.
The
I
only
don't
good
think I've seen 8 either.
the only good thing about 7 is the like 5-minute montage at the end of it where it's a tribute to Paul Walker, where everybody cries.
They drive away in the
Yep.
Supra and the
They make a hell of a montage. Terrible movie.
Movie's bad, montage good.
At least they got
Can
that.
I buy the
part right,
montage,
though.
please?
And then
Yes.
I honestly can't remember 8 enough to tell you about it.
I don't think I've seen 8 now.
I know
I don't think I've seen
there's
it.
something about a submarine,
Oh, that's
What?
right.
Is it
Yeah,
out?
there's a nuclear sub.
and then the,
No, they can't.
I've
be.
never seen it. Yes, there is.
Is it- it's
There's
out,
like
though?
I've seen it
Hunt
one
for Red
time.
October launching out of the ice and all that shit.
I've seen
dude.
it one time and I can't remember it because I don't think I was paying attention. I think I was editing a podcast while I
Have
was
you ever
watching
seen
it.
that movie?
Oh,
Hunt
it did
for Red
come out
October?
this year.
Not
like one of
Just for
my
reference, it
favorite
also has a
Super
6.8 rating.
I would rather watch Le Mans.
I'm sure Le Mans was cheaper.
So I don't know if that means that Le Mans did really well or if the
Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the
did-
Furious did really bad. I don't.
it did. So when's
Fate of the Furious is just awful. It's a terrible, terrible movie.
But they made like $11 billion.
And they're going to make 2 more. They've been greenlit for 2 more.
2020,
No
2020,
script.
2020 for Fast
9.
and the Furious 9.
And
then
21 for the 10.
you've seen
22,
you've
isn't
seen
it every
the
other.
poster
Oh,
for
you're
the
right.
10th one where they're in space, which is
That's a
fake.
joke.
Right? But it's still pretty.
But let's be
it's
real
like,
here.
It could
Would
happen.
you be
though.
surprised?
It could happen. Like, let's be real.
There might not even have
could
cars
happen.
in the next one.
If they come out with
Just call it the Furious.
if
now.
they come out with Teslas and what was that other ridiculous like crossover SUV electric car that never got off the ground that was stupid fast. Now I can't remember what it was called either. But if they come out with all like electric cars, I'm going to be really
It's probably coming.
upset.
It's probably coming.
Yep. All right, we can move on.
Yeah,
from
let's move
Fast
on
and
from
Furious. Another great movie that I like it. It grew on me. Need for Speed.
Imogen Poots, wife material for sure. That's the name of that woman. She's got a weird
Oh,
name.
that European, the
Yeah.
blonde chick.
Yep.
Not into her.
Really?
Not
Oh,
really.
we had this discussion when we watched
Oh,
it.
man.
She
How do
actually
you
kind of ruins the movie for me.
What? No.
How do you spell that? Because
Imogen is definitely her first name.
is that an I?
IMOGEN. POOTS, I think.
Yep, POOTS.
Yeah, but it's got Aaron Paul.
Oh, okay, I know. Who
It's
that is.
Imogen, right? Imogen
Yeah,
Poots.
Imogen Poots.
It's a screwed up name.
She's an English actress.
Yeah, she has an accent.
I am a sucker.
She was in 28
for-
Weeks Later.
Yep.
Isn't that one of your favorite movies? Isn't that like the movie you watch at Christmas or some shit?
You mean 30 Days of Night?
Ah, whatever. They're all.
It's got days in it.
Aren't they
It's close
both?
enough.
28 days
28
later.
days, 30 days.
28 Days Later is a zombie movie, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
it-
fairly certain that it is.
Is it?
30
No,
days
30 Days a Night's a vampire movie, isn't it? They're all the same to me. They're
Which is
all-
we started watching that on Christmas because every winter we'd start watching that movie during a snowstorm, and now it turned into a Christmas tradition. Anyways, so Need for Speed is if you like the games and you like that like arcadey style.
I'm trying to remember if I've seen it.
It's got that Mustang that's supposed to go like 220 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
So my problem is the stupid Mustang.
Yeah.
But then they do like winner takes all these.
I remember
supercar
Jalopnik
race.
did a breakdown of all the stupid things that they changed on that Mustang, and it was really
it's
pretty
bad.
funny.
Yeah. But yeah, the movie itself, it's pretty good. It's got some pretty awesome cars. It's got like 3 Koenigseggs in it, and then a bunch of like I think there's a
Yeah.
Koenigsegg at the end where they do the big race. That like one of 2 Lamborghini, that black with the carbon
Oh.
fiber. It's really ugly. I hate it, but
Probably
with
like a
the-
Veneno or something. The one with the big like LMP1
Yeah.
style shark fin in the middle,
yeah. And then then it's got the.
based off the Aventador.
No, it's not that one. It's
Or the
it's
smaller one.
It's the uglier one with the differential showing in the
I wonder
back.
if that's like the Sesto Elemento, maybe.
That's the one.
okay.
The
That one's like
Elemento.
all carbon fiber.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Cool thing about that movie is supposedly there was no CGI. They built all those cars and crashed them.
Which is awesome.
I don't know who built them, but somebody built them.
quite a
and
budget
and they rolled
to
them
do
and
those sort of
crashed them and
things.
threw them off of buildings and stuff. Actually did it instead of having a Leica?
Lichen.
That was like
like a
kitten
werewolf
car, yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah. Instead of fake jumping that across skyscrapers, they actually drove those cars off
Did you know
of
that
bridges and stuff.
the kit car for the Leica was like almost $200,000, and then that they just dropped it and wrecked it?
So they made a $200,000 kit,
Kit.
and then they
Well,
dropped
the
it.
real car's like multiples of
Like
millions.
almost $4 million.
Yeah, it's got like diamonds in the headlights and shit. Saudi
That guy
Arabian
that makes
stuff.
those cars for
UAE stuff.
Fast and the Furious, he was on Mighty Car Mods. Yeah, that dude's just laughing his ass off
Yeah, he's
all
like,
the
why
way to the
wouldn't he?
bank.
What I think is
he makes,
funny is-
he hacks cars together.
Yep.
Paints them.
Puts LS's in everything.
Puts LS's and everything, paints them, and yeah, that looks fine. And then they drop them off a bill. Hey, we need 15 more cars.
Yeah.
No problem. I got you.
and
Give me a couple weeks.
Here's a check for $500,000.
they
Okay,
only
great.
have to look good from 20 feet on camera.
Yeah, because if you
Yeah.
see them in person, they look like shit.
Terrible cars.
That dude, he's made a whole business out of that. That dude is he's
Genius.
laughing his ass
Yep.
off at all of us.
yeah, for sure.
And he's rich as shit. I am sure of it.
All right.
I like that movie. I like her.
I
I,
like- I
don't
like
care
it.
what you. I don't care what you say about her.
I didn't-
I'm
you
taking
can-
it
you
slightly
can-
personally.
you can
That's fine.
like her.
That's it's cool,
I can
dude.
see
It's
that.
whatever.
She's
is
really
all-
upset about it.
She's totally fine.
She's not
yours.
even like
It's totally
trashy
fine.
or anything.
I know it's, but it's because she's British. Sucker for an accent for sure.
That's all right.
Sucker for an
You can-
accent.
she's
Okay,
yours.
all right. Let's not bring it up. Move on to the next thing. Move on to whatever you got on your list.
Cars.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
we're
I love
talking
it
about
so
cars.
much.
Cars 1, amazing.
Great movie.
Cars-
Probably my favorite car movie. I said it.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Cars 2 doesn't exist.
No, as
Cars
far as I'm
3.
I'm gonna be
It's
real honest with you. I
dead.
think that's the only one I've seen is Cars 2.
Oh my god, you haven't
need-
seen
you
one?
need to watch Cars
You
1.
need to
I'm pretty
see
sure I've
one.
not seen one.
I have it on DVD. I'll bring it next time.
You need
I
to
don't even
watch
think I have a
Cars 1.
DVD player. My stereo is from the 80s.
Oh shit.
I'm full Alex
I have
Rowing
it- I
in this
have
living
it.
room.
I have a
Give me
DVD
a
player
record
you
player.
can borrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I may
was gonna
have one
say,
somewhere.
I think I can bring a DVD
I'll have to
player if
look.
I have to. It's a really good movie. I really,
It may
really,
actually
really enjoy it.
It may legitimately be on Netflix. I will look.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah. Cars 1, kind of like Rush, where it really captures the essence of like racing and wanting to drive. And
Yeah, that's not
actually
even
caring
the part
about
I love
cars.
the most about it.
What do you love?
The thing I love the most about that movie is the part where they are, where she takes Lightning McQueen out and they drive through those abandoned and deserted back roads.
Yep.
And they come across the wagon wheel or whatever it's called, and he like realizes that there's all these amazing sites and amazing places that nobody knows existed because we as a society decided that getting from point A to point B as quickly as humanly possible was the only thing that mattered, and we cut straight lines across everything and put in interstates, and we lost that magic and romanticism that was driving, and it really
Interesting.
Mr. Wordsmith over here.
I know he's getting
I
welling
love-
up on us over
I
here.
love so. Fuck it, I'll talk about it. That particular part of that movie gave me an idea for something I would like to do on our YouTube channel at some point, and that is going to places that are car related that you would never know existed if you never left the interstates. Places like there's an automotive museum that's really, really low key. That's only maybe an hour and 15 minutes north of me. Well, probably more like 45 minutes north of me. Just 10 miles down the road from my house, there is the world or the nation's oldest remaining like truck stop and cafe type of thing, but it's real small, and they have like an old gas station that's set up as if it were still like 1945, and you can go in and you can eat there, and they have a little motel, and it's right on the intersection of Highway 30 and Highway 65, and it's just really cool to kind of walk around there and see all that stuff, and it's really fascinating to me, and I want to make videos where we go to places that you would never get to see if you don't leave the interstate. That's the sort of stuff I would like to feature and highlight.
You could pitch that to Travel Channel.
Hell yeah.
Probably
Probably
could.
pick that up.
But be automotive themed, automotive related, or travel, cars, whatever, but that sort of stuff. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Talk about history and things like that, because that stuff interests me.
I get it.
So
Yeah.
that movie inspired that idea.
Cars 1, where it's at.
Yeah, it's
Cars,
a really, really
Cars
good movie.
3, you finally just saw.
We just got it here recently. My son loves it. I love it. Great movie.
I saw it in theaters.
I am too broke to do movie theater things.
Oh, you can go to the Dollar Theater, man. You live in
They closed it.
No,
You didn't know that?
Yeah,
You
it's
didn't hear
been
about
gone for a long
You didn't
time.
hear the conspiracy behind that?
Oh, here we go.
Swear to God,
Watch out. Here comes Alex
100%,
Jones.
This is the truth. I can't name my sources because that's their favorite
If
thing.
you say Eddie Bravo, I swear to God.
Dude, so fuck it.
Eddie Bravo.
I've gone down this thanks to the group and
Tom
all of
DeLonge.
you, and all of you beautiful assholes on there. I went down this conspiracy theory listening to Joe Rogan podcast trail for the last
Which
half week or
everybody
so.
needs to do.
So I listened.
So awesome.
I listened to Tom DeLonge, which I thought was about as loony and nut job as you could get. And then thanks to Joe, I decided, I should listen. Not Joe Rogan. Joe from our group. You know who you are.
Not Paige.
He actually lives
I know he
in the
does.
same town I live in. I listened to episode 911 of the Joe Rogan podcast, which is Alex Jones and Eddie Bravo, and oh my
It's so
God.
great, man.
Oh my God. I've never been so angry and confused in my entire life. I can't do it.
I can't listen to that.
You guys
It makes me
were making
so
fun of
mad.
me
It's
for
so
making fun of
bad.
flat earthers,
But the
but
thing I hate-
shit gets
The
wild.
thing that pisses me off endlessly, every time they say it's like fingernails on a chalkboard to me, is I can't name my sources. If you knew what I know, you'd believe too. You can't tell me, but if I knew what you knew, I'd believe. Then just tell me. Oh, if I told you, they'd kill me. Who's they? Can't tell you.
Yep.
Shut up. Anyway, conspiracy on the Dollar Theater. The Cinemark that's
the
in
big one.
Ames, that corporation bought the Dollar Theater that was in the mall and shut it down.
Oh,
Just
that is
done. So it's
I'm
gone.
sure that
Is that
they did.
mall even still there?
Yeah, the mall's there.
Barely.
It's not. I don't
That was the
consider.
only reason I went to that mall.
I don't consider it a mall
it's
because it does not have a food court.
It's not,
And
it's a strip mall.
mall rat's definition, it can't be a mall at that point. It has to have a food court.
Also, I tried to watch that movie. It's terrible.
Mall rats.
Oh, God.
It's
Oh,
okay at best.
Robbie,
you
you
just
are on
pissed off
somebody's
so
list
many
now.
people.
You
And
are
I'm
on
with you
somebody's
on that.
I
list.
tried. I really did. I like Kevin Smith.
Smith, yeah.
I always try to say Kevin James, and that's all right.
It's
I like
okay
Kevin
at
Smith. I like
best.
a lot of stuff he's done. I'm just not into it.
That's not his high point
No,
by any stretch. I'm with you on that one.
that's all right.
So Cars 3 is good.
Cars 3
Cars 3 is
awesome.
great. I really like it.
And it's definitely not aimed for the kids. It's aimed for the people that are like our age or older. Definitely older. It's about because he can't compete anymore. All the new racers are out there kicking his ass, and it's about him passing the
they
buck.
sound very hybrid-y. They have an engine noise, but then they also have this really high pitch. Like they sound very hybrid-y, which, I mean, fine. That's what it is what it is. But
It's
you know.
it's the new age racers.
to talk about aero and less drag and more speed and more efficiency. And yeah.
What else?
Well, you don't want to talk about cars no more?
I haven't seen it.
You need to watch it.
It's a good movie. It's a little dark for a little while, but it's a good movie.
It's great. Dukes of Hazzard,
Which one?
the newest one, not the newest like B-rated one, the one with Jessica Simpson and shit in it.
What's the newest B-rated one?
They made like a prequel, and it went straight to DVD.
What?
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
There's been
Okay.
a lot of like straight to DVD and stuff like that Dukes of Hazzard makes.
But yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard with Sean William Scott. Is that his name?
Yeah,
and
that sounds right.
Johnny
Johnny
Knoxville.
Knoxville?
Yep.
Pretty good car movie
that jump onto the highway, pretty fucking epic.
because he did it. Like they actually did that jump,
It's pretty fucking epic.
and then they actually have a race scene at the end.
Yeah.
and
And him drifting that roundabout,
that's
pretty good.
That's a great car. Movie.
solid car scenes.
Plus Jessica Simpson's in a bikini like half the time.
I thought that was the whole movie.
You got to
wasn't
watch
sure
the
what you guys were
unrated
talking
version.
about.
You have to watch the unrated version. There is an unrated and a rated version. Don't waste
Unrated
your
where it's
time.
at. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't bother.
So
Fair enough.
I really don't have
interesting.
anything
I'm not gonna argue.
That's an
I don't know.
interesting. Like I feel like that's one that gets left off of a lot of.
It should not be
car
left-
guy
I haven't.
movie lists.
I literally haven't seen that movie probably since it came out.
Yeah, I think I'm probably pretty close. to
I don't
that,
remember
too,
most of it.
It's
a good movie.
yeah, because like
I
the
like
General Lee, it's all about the car.
Wait. Who else is in that? Who plays?
Willie Nelson's in it.
Yeah, Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
But who else? Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds.
Burt
is in it.
Reynolds is in it.
Yeah.
Sold. There you go.
Yep.
Right there. Watch it for that reason
Smokey
alone.
and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Love that movie.
Hate that movie.
What? I knew you would say that, Robbie. Oh,
You know what?
I tried.
I've literally not watched that since I was a kid. We're talking like 6 years
I
old.
watched it this year because we've talked about it multiple times. People tell me like this is a classic. That's classic Burt Reynolds. all right.
Sex Machine.
Sex Machine. I'll download all 3. I'll watch them. Nope.
No, I don't think that the other two are even.
Didn't even watch the other 2.
Yeah.
I could hardly make it through the first one.
Yeah,
because I
the
can't.
first one's great.
It's terrible comedy. It's
great.
terrible.
I love it.
When you have the cop that's too stupid to function, like the fact that he's even alive is a miracle.
Yeah.
That's not funny. That's bad comedy.
I think that was funny in the 70s, though.
Was
Yeah.
that?
I think
that's a different
That's the
time and
problem.
place.
That's the problem. Like when I watch, what's the one with the Bullet Mustang?
Bullet.
Oh, it is Bullet. Yeah. So
Which I don't like.
Terrible.
it's awful. It's a terrible movie.
I don't like that movie.
We're gonna knock that off too. That's on the list as well. Smokey and the Bandit and Bullet are on the list.
Bullet's a terrible movie.
and that's the kind of annoys me is like those are always on the top of the car guy list. You need to watch these. They're terrible.
I don't.
I cannot watch them.
Is Bullet even really that?
It's just because that race or that.
That's like
scene.
the
But
only
it's
scene
19
where there's a car in it, really,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, he's driving that Mustang the whole time.
But he's not like.
But
doing
that's not
anything
the
in it.
focus. He's just using it as a mode of transportation.
Yeah, but the Mustang's in the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's 1968, though. I don't know. I mean, this is
what-
pre-Godfather. I think that's what cinema was. I
Is
think
that was Godfather a tipping point? In
I
the
think
cinema
Godfather was a
world?
tipping point in cinema.
Well,
yeah.
I think when it comes to like action or like cinematography and stuff like that, I think Star Wars changed the game. I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of it, but I think Star Wars.
that was late 70s, though, wasn't it?
You
Yeah,
have
70s.
you have like before Star Wars and then after Star Wars.
I think it.
And then it goes from so this is again completely my opinion, doesn't mean shit to anybody. But yeah, you got everything before Star Wars and then you have everything after Star Wars until you hit Jurassic Park and then it changes again.
Go watch Godfather 1. It's super
I
slow.
don't think I've ever seen
I
it.
can't.
It's super
It's
slow.
like
I don't think I've
3.5
ever seen
hours
any of the
long.
Godfathers.
Yeah, that's the other problem. Is it is 3 hours long.
Ooh, I couldn't do it then.
And it's like a
Godfather
Quentin
2, I think, is better. Godfather 3, there's some incest. It gets super weird, but just forget about that. No, there is, really. Just forget about that one. But
I don't think I've ever seen any of them.
they're great movies.
their
They're just
entirety,
really,
at
really
least.
slow.
You have to,
But
you
it's
have to
like-
be into that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I get too bored. I can't
But-
do dry like Quentin Tarantino movies. I can't really do them because it's just a lot of dialogue, just sitting and talking.
Death Race.
You got to like sit down and be ready to watch a
That's
Quentin
not
Tarantino movie.
It's not. I thought that
Unless
one
that's
was.
the old one. No,
Oh, I thought he did that movie. Guess not. Could be. I don't know.
but Death Race, the one with Jason
Jason
Statham,
Statham.
that's an awesome car guy movie.
That's quite the movie, isn't it?
I mean the
Jason-
sequels.
I think
and
Jason
the original.
Statham must be a car guy because he does a lot of car-related movies.
Yeah, I thought it was really good because like it's got good racing.
It's kind of ridiculous,
It's over the
but it's
top.
fine.
Everything's blowing up.
Right.
The acting's good. The story's pretty good. The budget was good.
Didn't they make 2 or 3 of them? They kind of went downhill after that, though.
Yeah, I remember. I went on a date and watched Death Race with a girl.
Bold strategy.
She loved it. And years later, I got a random text from her, and she said, "Hey, I just watched Death Race 2. Don't." I was like, "Okay."
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Usually when I get that text, it's a full panic attack and like I'm going to change phone numbers.
No, like it was fine.
I
Oh,
think
okay.
Robbie's dating life and Michael's dating life are 2 very different.
Not in this case. Like
they
her
converged.
and I stayed friends.
They
It was
converged at one point. There was a time when Robbie and I were.
Well, that's
Very
because one of
similar.
his exes showed up on your Tinder, but that's very different. That's very different. That's
That
where
wasn't
they
even that long
converged,
ago.
but-
That was like a year ago.
That would have been hilarious. If you
I
would've
missed the
wouldn't
trick
have
there. I
realized
panicked.
who you were.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do.
I would have paid for your dinner if you would have just showed
panicked.
up. and then
It was
spent
my
the whole-
bad.
Spent
My
the
bad.
whole time talking about this podcast you do, and then just have her kind of
She would have been gone
piece it
immediately.
together.
She would have figured it out immediately. She hated this show.
Don't name drop. Just
She hated this show.
Elizabeth
good.
hated this show.
It's out there in public now. What are you going to do about it?
I don't care. What's she gonna do? Call
She's
me?
going to find you.
Please don't.
She might call you.
Stay away.
Robbie's gonna have a new phone number here shortly.
Yep.
I haven't changed it ever. All right. So we talk about Death Race.
Yes.
A movie that is always on the list of like car guy movies, like if you search like MDB or whatever. Drive, the movie with Ryan Gosling.
Which
seen
isn't that just 2 hours of him like
white knuckling it.
White knuckling a steering wheel, yeah, in the middle of nowhere with the lights off, and him like he's wearing these driving gloves, and he does this move where
Is it very Vanishing Point?
No,
because that's kind of
Vanishing Point is also terrible. I watched 20 minutes of that, and I was like, I'm done. I'm going to bed.
No, I never saw it.
You just really insulted my dad.
I really don't. I will try it again, but I did watch 20 minutes of it, and I was like
it.
But I try it. I'm not
Richard Hammond's assessment of it is exactly what it is. It's like an hour and a half of a guy with a sweaty shirt on, driving around like a maniac in a Challenger. That's all it is.
But then when he crashes it turns into something else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the
So I need
end,
to keep
they set
watching?
up like snow plows, like two of them nose to nose, like in an arrow formation in the middle of the road, and he crashes into them. And then when you see the scene of it flipping over the plows, it's like a Gran Torino or something like that. It's something very, very different.
Okay, so this isn't selling me on this movie. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll probably continue to not watch it.
It might have at least stayed a Dodge product, but I know it's a different car entirely. A much cheaper, lower line car.
So it still sounds pretty stupid.
Yeah,
but yeah, the drive is just Ryan Gosling in dark cars.
Well, he's like a
things.
stuntman mechanic during the day, which really doesn't make any sense. But then at night he's a wheelman. But like I don't remember him doing any heists. I think it was like a murder or something.
Isn't this supposed to appeal to women? In all honesty,
Well,
I know it's Ryan Gosling,
Gosling
but isn't it not for car people?
I don't think so. Yeah, it's weird that it's considered a car movie, and it's
not a car movie.
Really,
he's
though.
he is
It's
a
just always
driver.
it's always on those fucking lists.
Is there like a love interest or something? Why is it a girl?
Not that I can recall.
He's just staring at things through the windshield.
All angry.
Yeah, he's very angry.
Now I need to see it.
No, you don't.
Nah,
I need to see bits and pieces.
go to
of it.
YouTube and see if there's a highlight reel.
Yeah, just YouTube it.
Because I want to know.
I think the front cover is him with the hands.
It
on
is
the,
absolutely.
He's got that angry thing.
That's what I see when I think of the.
He's got that horrible white leather jacket with the scorpion on it.
Is that this movie?
Yeah. Isn't it Scorpion?
It might be. Out of this movie, it's a stupid.
It's
movie.
awful.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
You want to talk about awesome movies?
Yeah,
Please. That's why we're here.
Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights
yeah.
is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Solid one-liner movie.
It's hilarious as a comedy, and there's great driving. Ish.
I mean, as great as NASCAR can be.
So I don't know how to substantiate this, but somebody told me a rumor that there might be an Italian guy coming into Formula D, and that's is all I can think about is this exact scenario.
See, anytime they say Simon Pagino in Indy,
Yeah,
that's all I can think
picture
about.
about.
It's like,
Yeah.
this is Talladega Nights.
Exactly. And so he did a podcast once, and
Will Ferrell?
no, Simon
Simon
Pagino, and they called him Jean Girard in the beginning
John Gerard,
just to be
Yeah,
funny,
buddy.
and he does not think it's funny. Apparently, that happens a lot.
Oh, come on, dude. You got to live it. If it's
I think he's tired of it. I think
Oh, but
I bet it was funny for the first
professional
year.
racing
yeah, I'm sure it
driver.
was funny, but now he's kind of like, all right, this
You're-
is old.
You're also a professional
It's
racing
been like
driver.
10 years. Let's let it go.
Just shut up. Like, suck it up. One of my favorite scene is him when he's doing his first press conference, and he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands, and his hands just are creeping up in the frame. It's like me around kids. That's exactly what that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, cool.
It is funny to bring my kid around you
It's
because
like,
you
hey,
look really
just-
awkward.
Ooh, I'm
It's
gonna
funny.
stand over here.
Stand-
Somebody have a dog.
Treat him like a dog.
Somebody have a dog.
They're just like dogs.
See, I do that, and then I feel super weird. It's like these people are going to be offended that I'm playing fetch with their kid.
What do you think I do with my kid? He doesn't like playing catch because he can't. He
Just throw
loves
it.
playing fetch.
You just throw it and he
Just
falls
throw it.
over. And
He
grabs
stands next to me. He hands me a ball. He stares at me. I throw it. He goes and gets it. He brings it back. He hands it to me.
It does sound like something a dog would do.
Yeah.
But he just, I mean,
No,
I'll try it.
Yeah, I'll work next time. Okay,
I'll try it. I'll bring a ball.
he's got lots of them.
Okay.
So
Well,
no
that's
deal.
fine. We'll give it a
He
go.
loves pushing cars around,
We can do that.
playing Hot Wheels and stuff like that.
Could play Hot Wheels.
I don't know. Apparently, Katie's grandma got real upset. I think it was Katie's grandma that I gave him Hot Wheels when he was like 9 months old.
She think he was gonna chew a
Because they
wheel
were
off
like
it.
gonna break a wheel off and he was gonna die, and
That'd be fine.
so I like grabbed the wheel and kind of like tugged on it, like, nope, seems good, gave it to him. Apparently that's bad parenting, but he loves them. What am I gonna do about it?
He's fine.
He'll be fine.
You just watch him.
I
Still
figure
want to be unsupervised.
I figure that'll pass through his system. If,
Hot Wheels have not
worst
killed
case.
that many kids.
that we know of.
They can't be that many then.
The Hot Wheels lobby is
Yeah.
probably pretty big.
They still
Robbie.
make them. I mean,
That's a good
And
point.
they're cheap. I mean, they're everywhere.
I don't know.
I figure the wheel would pass through his system. Worst case scenario.
You'll be fine.
One of the best parts of this movie is also the Tom Cruise thing when he's on fire.
That's my favorite part.
That I thought of
Oprah
that when we were
Winfrey,
talking about
Tom Cruise.
when we were talking about
That's the best
Talladega
part.
Nights because that's perfect.
That and the family dinner
The baby
scene.
Jesus scene.
Baby Jesus. If you're not first, you're last.
It's true.
That doesn't even make any sense.
It does though.
It does though.
It kind of does. Robbie could feel
You
it
can
on the
be, you can be
inside.
second.
Robbie
You
could
can be
feel-
third. Hell, you can
No.
even be fourth.
You want to know what second place is?
The first loser.
First place loser.
First loser. Exactly. I need to watch that again. That movie
that's
is
what,
so
that's
good.
what happens when you give people
What is
participation
that?
trophies.
Big guy. Is that Christopher Duncan?
Oh, his sidekick.
No,
The big.
the guy from Green Mile.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
I want to say.
He died not too long ago.
What? Who's this?
The huge black guy.
Yeah.
African
big black
American
guy.
gentleman. Who is
The
this?
tall guy.
He's like his crew chief or some
Oh,
shit.
that guy.
I can't think of his
He's
name.
Yeah,
dead.
and they're
He died of a heart,
Yeah, he
like a heart
died
attack or
just
something.
Oh, that sucks.
but
yeah.
they're in the hospital like
Oh.
after that. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
8 out of 10.
I need
I
to
rarely-
watch that.
I
Eight
rarely-
out of 10. Nah, 9 out of 10, man. That
We should have been ranking. Like, damn
Damn
it, we
it.
suck at this.
If that's one of those movies, like if it's on TV, I almost always just stop.
I
Like,
need
all right,
to watch
we're-
that. I think I have it on DVD. I need to watch that
It's-
movie again.
it's just one of those. I don't even know if you could make that movie anymore.
no.
I
There'd be
don't- I don't know
There'd be
if you
too
could,
many
dude.
upset people.
No.
What is it Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can he even work anymore?
Yeah, because
Like for real.
He did all
real
those movies,
question.
and all of a
Can
sudden
he even
just-
make movies anymore?
I feel like he
doubt
probably
it.
does it. Just don't come to America.
Because you can't do anything. I was watching Chappelle's show. That's the most racist, discriminatory show I've ever seen in my entire.
It's
couldn't
awesome.
It is good. You couldn't make that show though.
No.
You'd be in every newspaper. You'd be
Yeah.
all over the internet. You'd be hung in a public square.
YouTube. You couldn't even put that on YouTube.
I don't think you
I
could
think
either.
YouTube would take it down.
Sacha Baron Cohen hasn't worked. He didn't work in 2017 or on any movies, but there is a Mandrake the Magician is coming out in 2019.
that sounds sketchy.
That's
not gonna be good.
I watched one of his movies. I went to a movie theater, so I was committed to it. Terrible decision.
Yeah, they're terrible.
I don't remember which one it was.
The
I was
Dictator.
I was appalled.
That's the problem. Is you can watch them at home with the shades drawn, the lights off.
Don't let anybody
Pretend like
know.
you're not there
Yeah.
with the volume all the way
it
down.
was like me and a group of like 8 of my high school buddies, right? And we went to the movie theater.
and you're just like, oh,
And it was like a half full show.
yeah.
And I think they like a few of them had already seen it. They were going back for round 2, and I had some-
Borat?
I think it was Borat.
It must have been
was
Borat. That would have
super
been
popular. and
That would have
it's
been the right
terrible.
time.
And I felt terrible.
I just feel
watching it.
uncomfortable. Like
bad.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
around people when I
Yeah.
watch that. I want to be like, if I'm going to watch it, I'm going to watch it on my own,
Pretend I didn't watch
and we
it.
can talk about
You-
parts of it that are.
You watch that in the shame of your own room.
Yeah.
Like you just keep
I
that to
don't.
yourself.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why you'd want to watch it with people.
No,
That's super weird.
I didn't know what I was getting into in my defense.
you should have known.
But Borat though, that was kind of the.
Well, that-
the only
you
other
knew-
thing he did
you
was
knew,
Ali
though.
G.
That was awful.
How I never watched Ali G. That was on HBO.
But yeah, but people loved it.
I didn't know what it was.
I don't-
Everybody's just like, Borat's funny, and then I watch it. It was fine. Wasn't as bad as The Dictator.
I never saw.
I never saw that.
That was way worse. And,
After
like,
I saw Borat, I was like, well, I'm never going to see another show with this guy again.
actually,
That's the
Borat
end
was.
of
Now I'm
this.
thinking about it more. It was pretty freaking weird.
It was
there was
super
some stuff where you're just like, oh my
There were
god.
some weird things going on
But
there.
The Dictator was worse.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it was worse.
Don't need to see that then.
No, I would say no.
There's another movie that came out not too long ago, Baby Driver.
Stupid name.
So we have basically there's a couple of Facebook groups that I'm a member of, local ones that are
Yeah.
essentially Subaru clubs, even though they're not listed as that.
Yep.
And there are these people who just like Subaru is essentially the only brand that exists to those people,
Right.
and so they were pumped, right? Just pumped that movie was coming out. I'm not saying anything bad about Subaru in this particular instance. It is what it is. But I remember the night it came out, some kid comes and posts like mid-movie. He's on his phone making Facebook posts to this group, super pissed. The Subaru is only like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's like the
don't even
beginning.
waste your time. It's a terrible movie.
Yeah, because he does a bunch of heists, and then one of the heists he drives the Subaru. That's it.
But it's only in there for like 5
But
minutes.
that's
Apparently,
like the opening scene is that heist.
they were like pitchforks and torches, like mad about it. They thought it was a Subaru centric movie.
That was definitely not the case.
They were very upset about it.
the driving scenes are cool. The heist scene, like where he's like a getaway driver, those scenes are pretty cool.
Yeah.
The movie's super weird, like super weird.
I think it's one of those movies you like if you really are into like cinematic
It's
things.
artsy.
Like
real
it's
artsy.
very artsy. Like there's a rhythm and flow to it, and there's the soundtrack is really important to
Yep.
the movie.
Yep.
And I guess I'm just too primitive for that sort of stuff. I don't get it most of the time, so that movie doesn't do a whole lot for me.
No, it didn't
It's
do a
not a bad movie.
No.
Yeah, but it's not.
No, I'm on the exact same page as you.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time.
Okay, great.
Actually, Michael would probably get more out of it because he has that
Yes and no.
photographer's
and-
eye, which would transition a little
Yeah, you
bit.
probably like the photographer's eye for it, and you're a musician type. So
Yeah,
you might,
I think you would
might
probably
actually
get more out of it than us heathens.
Plus, I'll take solace in the fact they took the front drive shafts out of the Subaru.
That's true as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you might enjoy it.
Your Subaru won't do that, just FYI.
This is a movie that I really like, and no one's gonna have a frickin' clue what I'm talking about.
Oh gosh.
The movie is called The Last Ride, and it was a made-for-TV movie on the USA Network when the GTO came out in 2004. And it is basically an hour-and-a-half ad for the Pontiac GTO.
I'm in. Sold.
So
Love it.
this guy gets out of prison, or he's like a grandfather now, and then his son was adopted by the cop that arrested him. So then now they're trying to prove that he was
That's awkward.
wrongfully put in prison, but then they go and get his GTO judge back, and in the meantime they steal a GTO like off the showroom floor of like the LA Auto Show. And then they put the drifter body kit on it, and then it's got like a bunch of arrow and shit on it. They painted bright red, and then they use that to get away, and it's actually not as cheesy as Too Fast, Too Furious, like when it comes to like one-liners. Obviously, the budget wasn't there because it was made for TV, but
Right.
I'm a big fan of it. Because even
How do you watch this movie?
you just sit down and watch it.
No, like, how do I find it? Is this a movie I can get somewhere?
You would have to like.
Or am I pirating this shit on
You would-
like
you
the
might-
backwaters of the internet?
I had to buy a DVD because USA Network did sell the DVD for a while.
Okay.
So I have a copy of it,
Okay.
but I think that's probably about it when it comes to being able to find it.
Because you had me at GTO.
I think you'd enjoy it. It's funny because the inside pamphlet is a brochure basically for the GTO.
That's not the worst advertising idea I've ever heard in my life.
Pontiac had to have thrown money at them because the only cars they drive are Pontiacs. Even the cops are driving Bonnevilles.
Dodge does that all the time now. It's
Yeah.
hard to go to a movie without it being nothing but Dodges
Yeah,
or Audis.
I liked it. I thought it was really good. So I'm not going to go out there and say it's the greatest car movie ever, but I thought it was
But
pretty
you
good.
liked it.
I did.
Robbie has this thing for cheesy movies and TV
And
shows.
The love interest is Nadine Velasquez, who was my it girl for like the longest
I
time.
don't know who that is either. Now we're going to have to
Smoke
Google
show.
her.
Nadine Velasquez, Smoke Show.
Is that NADINE?
INE. VEL. Pausing.
Dead air.
Sorry, guys.
Everybody's Googling.
Everyone's on their
Everybody's
phone.
Googling.
This gives them a chance to Google.
Yeah, you Google
Let's-
as well.
let's be real
Or
here.
while
They're
she's-
all Googling.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
All right, yeah. I mean,
Smoke Show.
I wouldn't tell
Oh,
her.
is she in the league?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how everyone knows who she is. She's Ruxin's wife in
yeah.
the league.
Yep. Okay, that's fair.
Apparently she was on My Name is Earl as well.
Yep.
Yep, she was.
Yep. Yeah, so that's a big selling point for anyone that needs to see it because she's
Interesting.
gorgeous.
All right.
This is a terrible movie.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure most people have seen it. Red Line.
That I've not
I
seen
didn't
Red
see
Line.
that
You
one
never
either.
saw it?
No.
Man, that like made the rounds in our high school. Everyone thought they had to watch this movie. And it's terrible. Because it's got Eddie Griffin or whatever, that comedian.
Yep.
He's
The one
terrible.
that crashed the Enzo.
That's the movie. He crashed the Enzo. And
Oh, I didn't realize that was in a movie.
that was this movie. He was filming this movie when he crashed that car.
Oh, I just thought he was like at a track day or something.
So it's basically, it's kind of like the Cannonball where they bet him that he can't race, to get to a certain place in a certain time and he gets money. And then they do like the supercar
That's
races.
Vanishing Point too.
Oh, see, yeah. So they do the supercar races and it's terrible. All the budget was spent on like the 10 cars. That nobody spent any money on the script or the actors. I mean, the filming's okay, but it's terrible. 2 out of 10. Would not do.
Would not watch.
See, is that Undercover Brother?
Yes.
Oh my god, I love that movie so much. The movie's fantastic.
That movie's terrible.
Oh my god, I love it
the
so
movie
much.
is terrible.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. I own it on DVD. I love it.
All right, this is a movie that I know is like a really good car movie, and for some reason I just never really got into them. I've seen them. I don't know. The Transporter.
The first one's great. Don't bother with the rest.
There's like 97 of them. That's part of the
The
problem.
second one.
Where do you even start?
Yeah, the second one sticks out in my
Second
mind.
one when
for
he
some
like
reason.
jumps the car in the air and does a barrel roll and scrapes the bomb off the bottom of the
Yep.
car with a crane hook.
Yep.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's too
I'm
much.
out. That's
I
it.
do remember that.
But the first one is a really good movie. I really like that movie. So
Okay. Yeah, I never too many Audis, you know.
It's a lot of
first one is in a BMW. So
Oh, is he?
yeah,
7 Series.
Shows-
weird.
shows
It's
what I
strange
know.
because the one that is I like the best is the BMW, not the Audi cars.
Not the
and
17 Audi ones.
I don't like BMWs. So
What's next?
The Italian Job.
never seen either one of them.
You're kidding me.
I've seen
Nope.
both.
You
I've
have-
seen both actually.
You haven't seen the Marky Mark one?
I've never seen either one of them.
But you loved.
You were only
Mini
supposed
Coopers.
to. You were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. You haven't seen that.
No,
Scene with the Mira and the going up the Alps. None of that stuff.
nah.
You should watch it.
You should
watch
watch
the
it.
original. The original one's Michael Caine or Michael Caine, depending on how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just never got around to seeing.
What year's the original one? Do we have any idea?
Like the 70s something or other.
Yeah,
Mid
it's pretty
70s,
old.
maybe. Because that's a way better paced movie than
Yeah.
Most of
Bullet.
those. Oh yeah, for sure.
it was. It was
Not
kind of.
got that.
It's a decent movie. I like it
See, I never saw the original, but the newer one I saw a handful of times.
with Marky Mark.
Marky Mark.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
JD Powerhammer.
There's some new ones of those out. I haven't seen them yet.
Are the Chevy ones
Yeah, I haven't seen them yet
with
though.
Mark?
So
Oh, they sell double features. You can buy a DVD with both of them.
that doesn't surprise me.
That's great. You should do that. I need to see the first one because I did like this.
It's got Edward Norton in it as well.
Edward Norton's a great.
Edward
actor.
Norton's great stuff. You should watch it. Was that Charlize Theron?
Throne.
Throne?
Tries Throne.
Yeah, I knew she was in. There's no reason I have. It's not like I've avoided it. It just for whatever reason,
Just
for
evaded
one
you.
reason or another, it's never. I think I've seen little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I've never watched it beginning to end.
It makes you want to buy a Mini Cooper.
I want to buy a Mini Cooper. I think
It
they're
is kind of a
great.
giant Mini Cooper commercial.
I would own one.
It
for
works
sure.
out, though.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
they're
fine.
cool.
It's fine.
Yeah, the movie makes them look even cooler.
Center speedometer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm all about them.
No, I enjoyed it.
They're way too many monies.
They're a lot of monies.
This is the only horror movie I have on this.
Yes.
Christine. The Steve-
So I know of this movie. I don't know it though. I haven't
I-
watched it.
Yeah, I've
I'm a
watched it.
giant pansy, so I'm not very
It's
good
not-
with
it's
horror
not
movies.
They did a
It's like-
whole. Didn't Futurama do a spoof on this?
A lot of people
Or
have done
Bender
spoofs
turned
on it, I think.
into a zombie car thing.
Probably. Yeah, so the car is like basically haunted and
Right.
it can fix itself and then it kills people.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a Stephen King book and the movie. That's it.
that's all there is to it. If you want a horror movie and a car movie together, this is
It's-
basically your only option.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's an old movie
Okay.
Yeah.
and the car's cool. I think it's a Plymouth Fury. I think.
Sure.
Sure.
I'll
I'm
buy
probably-
that.
I'm
I have
probably
no
wrong.
idea.
It seems
wrong.
perfectly reasonable.
I saw it at the Volo Museum.
The Yolo Museum.
right.
The one from the movie.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's got the Stephen King autograph on it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'd say it's worth watching. It's just something different. Different car guy movie.
I guess.
Born to Race. Another B-rated movie.
Never seen it.
I don't know that one either.
This is a Subaru fanboy wet dream.
Oh, really?
Because it's a B-rated movie that was basically funded by a bunch of automotive sponsors. So like, there's a list at the end of just all the companies
Oh.
that sponsored it. It went to like Netflix.
Yep.
And it's for a B-rated movie with not great actors. It's actually pretty good. It's about a high school kid that moves to this, gets in trouble. It's basically Tokyo Drift, but he moves to
It's Tokyo Drift again.
With a Subaru.
Just yeah.
goes to a different high
Sponsored
school.
by
He's got,
Takata.
he's got a Subaru, and he's into street racing, like drag racing, and then he gets in trouble, of course. And then I think he wrecks his car, and they have to fix it. But then in order to beat the guy with the Mustang, who's like the cool jock type,
Is it an RB swapped Mustang?
no, it's just like his dad owns like this really like the high end
Oh, right.
sports
Of
car
course he
place,
does.
so he has all the really expensive parts on his Mustang, so he thinks he's cool shit.
Oh, we watched this, didn't we? It's coming back to me now.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you and I watched
twice,
this together.
I think. For a B-rated movie with no budget that was basically funded by manufacturers, it's worth watching.
It's okay, yeah.
And if you're a Subaru guy that wants to see a Mustang lose to a Subaru, you should definitely watch it.
All right, then.
Wait, did I say it backwards? Mustang lose to a Subaru?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's the right way.
That's what I meant. It's not bad.
Huh.
They made a sequel to it, and I haven't seen it because I heard that was way worse.
They usually don't get better. That's the problem.
When they're B-rated movies, they don't
they
really
just gotta go downhill if there's another one.
Yeah, this was okay.
Let's try one more.
I've seen a lot of B-rated movies in my life.
Let's take this
but-
half-ass movie and half-ass the second one.
Yep. All right, so we got a couple doozies to finish this off. If you
yeah,
will.
buddy.
I have one that is probably one of my favorites. I don't think you have on this list.
Okay.
So, but you finish it off, and I'll see if it's there.
The Cannonball Run.
Which Robbie fucking hates.
Terrible.
Apparently. I've only
Same-
seen the first 5 minutes.
I dislike it the same way I dislike Smokey and the Bandit.
which also has Burt Reynolds
I know
in it,
for
doesn't
some
it?
reason,
Yep.
but I like Burt Reynolds. So
I've never seen it.
don't bother. I know
Okay.
a lot of people are gonna be mad because it's a air quote classic, but I hate
It's
it.
like it's like that comedy caper, like, weird slapstick comedy thing.
I'd
Isn't
probably
it?
like
kind
it.
of.
Then. Let's be real here. If I like
Isn't
Smokey
it? It's
the
like
Bandit,
isn't
I'd
it
probably
Farrah
like
Fawcett in it?
Yeah,
and
they-
like there's some weird shit that happens in it. It's like slapstick comedy.
Yeah,
but it's the 70s again. I don't know,
Yep.
or no, it's the 80s.
Is it? I can't.
I think it's the 80s.
It doesn't matter.
Movies were worse back then. Let's be
Clearly.
real.
Don't you say bad things about the 80s, Robbie.
The 80s are terrible.
That's why he's got a 90s car.
That's right. Keep it 90s, bro.
Nah.
All right, we'll finish this off with one Michael added at the end. Super fast.
Super fast, bro. It's fucking tight.
Is this that terrible
Fucking
movie
tight.
you showed me
How
clips of on
dare
YouTube?
you? No, that's 200 miles an hour.
Oh.
200 miles an hour is actually very bad and very hard to watch. Super Fast is a spoof of
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious, and they actually had some money, and it's kind of funny. Like it's
I
worth.
remember it was on Netflix for a while,
It has
wasn't
a
it?
shockingly high budget.
It's like $16 million, isn't
yes.
it?
And they did
We
a
looked it
great
up.
job making fun of
It's
Fast
pretty.
and Furious.
You should. It's worth watching. It's pretty funny, and they got a dude that to play The Rock, who's obviously not as big because he didn't have enough time to do enough.
It's pretty hard.
Human
to be
growth
as-
hormone to be
it's
that
pretty
big.
hard to be as
But
big as
he
The Rock,
he
let's
walks
be real
around
here.
with a thing of baby oil and like squirts himself with it and like rubs himself down.
So is it one
if
of
he
those,
gets
like-
pissed, he's like rubbing himself.
Is
down
it one
with
of
the
those
baby.
like really bad parody comedy movies?
It-
Like
it's-
It is,
like,
but
like
it's
scary
scary-
movie.
it's just like
it's
that.
like Scary Movie.
Okay.
because Scary Movie had a budget too.
yeah,
so it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
same-
So it's a scary movie.
It's pretty.
style
It's pretty
movie.
funny. If
Okay.
you go into
I kind
it,
of want to see that.
if you think Fast and Furious has its moments where it's really stupid, if you go into this movie with the attitude that Fast and Furious can easily be made fun of,
You'll
it's
enjoy
going to
it.
be pretty funny.
Yeah, but if you love the Fast and the Furious and you think
You probably
it's like,
get pissed.
yeah, you'll hate it.
I need to see
It's
that. then.
it's worth watching it.
It took a lot of convincing, but I did watch it, and it's actually pretty funny.
That 200 mile an hour movie. Just the clips of it on YouTube was enough to make me know I never need to see it.
The problem is you have to pay for it. Like I would watch it if it was free,
Right?
But you have to pay for it. And the clips that I saw were so terrible. It's
Oh
not
my
worth
God.
giving anybody any
Oh
money
my
for
god,
it.
it's so bad. YouTube it and just watch.
You can find a highlight reel on YouTube of
yeah,
it. It's
and
really
oh,
terrible.
Man,
It's
It was
really,
rough.
really bad.
It was rough. So one of my favorite movies. It's I don't think often thought of as a car guy movie, but they have a lot of really sweet cars in them.
Okay.
Mad Max.
See, I hated that movie.
The new one is probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
See, I don't know why. I just could
I
not get into it.
Love that. That's a movie I will sit down randomly, semi-regularly, and just watch over and over and over. I love that movie. The original Mad Max, while a car movie, is nothing to do with the rest of the Mad Maxes.
Right.
The original one, he's like a cop, and his family gets killed or kidnapped or something like that, and it's a revenge movie. And then,
He's got a Commodore, mate.
yeah, and then the rest of them devolve into these like post-apocalyptic movies, and they're quite a deal. But the second Mad Max and the newest Mad Max are really good movies, in my opinion. And apparently, in the new movie, all those cars were real.
Oh yeah, I knew
That's
that.
not CGI.
No,
and so
no,
that
no.
that in of itself, because like that Cadillac thing, that's like two Cadillacs grafted together with a big block and the blower, and it's quite the deal. There's
without a
some
doubt.
ridiculous machinery on there, and that to me is really cool to watch. And I really, really enjoy the movie.
Yeah,
So-
I realize I'm the very small outlier of the people that didn't like that movie because I know it got a bunch of awards, great reviews, everyone loved
Yeah.
it, and I'm the one of the few people that just for
What
some
don't you
reason-
like about it? Like,
I don't know.
I just
couldn't get into it.
I
Like,
can't sit there and watch that movie and think that anybody would dislike it that's like me, I guess.
I don't
So-
know. I just couldn't get into like the driving scenes. Were like it's just weird to me. I don't understand what they're even doing. There's like no beginning and end to it. It's just like, oh, they're driving down a fucking road and they have these weird cars and we're trying to kill each other. But then
it's just action after action after action.
That's my
It's
problem.
explosions from
that's-
start to finish,
Wow,
Robbie.
you sound like somebody that would like Fast and the
It's
Furious 8.
all rise, no fall.
That is the fate of the Furious for sure.
Just like
I
Barney
can't-
Stinson's Party Mix.
Right, but,
all rise, no fall.
I need substance.
Nah.
I need to know like there has
It's
to be a
got a
rhyme or
story.
reason. No, it doesn't.
Sure it does.
They need water.
No, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. She is trying to
seen it
smuggle
once.
these girls out of that guy because he's
I know.
basically like raping them and using them to create children.
Yes.
And she's trying to escape with them to where she's originally from, which was like a tribe of women only. And then when they get there, they find out that that's gone.
Right.
And they decide that the only way that they can survive at this point is if they go back and take the Citadel away from him. That's what the movie's about.
You know what we forgot to do?
What's that?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, no shit.
If you haven't seen Mad Max by now, then you're probably
None
not
of these are
going
brand
to.
new.
Nah, people get triggered.
That's all right.
I'm over it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll give it another try. I watched it. I was like,
I love it.
I haven't seen it.
It's a great movie. I've seen it repetitively. It's a great movie.
Is that it?
that's all I got for
Mr.
movies.
Handsome Rob.
I'm sure there's a bunch I missed, and people are going to go and tell me all the ones I missed on our group. But that's just fine.
Get on the group. Tell us your favorite car guy movie.
If there's a movie out there that's
good,
great,
bad, ugly, whatever.
yeah, tell us if you hate it. Tell us you love it. If there's a movie out there I haven't seen that people like, I'll watch it. I like movies.
Word up.
There you go.
Should we move on to the news?
Also, for those complaining about us not having a long podcast,
This is a long one. We are at an hour and a half right now.
and for me being the one that says, let's not have a long podcast, I picked this topic of having a long
I think it's
discussion.
hilarious.
And you only discuss half the movies because you cut the documentaries out.
There's a
So
ton
we'll
of
have to
people
come
that
back.
are like,
We'll have to come back to documentaries.
oh, if Robbie would just be quiet and let him talk, we'd have 3-hour podcasts and it'd be great. It makes me laugh every time I see it.
Ridiculous.
Robbie loves a nice long podcast.
You're right.
You ready now?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, let's do the news presented by Petrolbox. Before we do the news, make sure, guys, to go to mypetrolbox.com, check out their website, and use our code 10tenths with the S at the end to get $7 off your box. I think now, so we're into November now, so if you guys sign up, you will get the November box, which we haven't gotten yet. The dudes are at SEMA right now. Petrolbox
I have
dudes
an
are at SEMA.
insanely large number of friends on my social media that are at SEMA. It's
Apparently we're-
very upsetting.
Apparently, we're the only ones not.
I feel like we're the
Apparently,
only ones not
if
at
you
SEMA.
stand next to an automotive business, you can elect to get in. I
don't-
don't even.
Is it not? I'm relatively certain it's open to the public at this point.
I thought it was.
I think you can come up with some excuse of being related to automotive something in
I
some
don't
way and
think
go.
you have to. I think PRI is still pretty closed door, but I thought SEMA was at this point.
I think you
just
still need.
a free for all.
I don't know if it's a free for all. Maybe it is a free for all. I don't know. I thought you still needed to make up some
Or
excuse.
maybe there are certain days where it's open to the public and certain days where it's only open to the industry or something along those lines. I don't know.
Beats me.
It's ridiculous.
We are certainly the only ones not there. though.
Apparently not.
We even have friends and fans of the show with cars in booths.
It's true.
Silver C10 on Instagram. Sick Camaro. Boom.
Thomas drove the Subi Speed Subaru all the way to Las Vegas from Des Moines because they couldn't find a carrier.
They own a carrier.
Yeah, but somebody would have to drive it,
Oh,
so they just drove the car.
I suppose it.
And I don't know where
I have no idea.
John the driver is right now. He might be doing something else. Who knows?
Right.
But they couldn't find a transporter, so he drove the whole thing over there with his girlfriend. Which that sounds like a long drive. It's
like
20 hours.
Don't fuck up.
Yeah, I'd be really nervous.
That's the other
like,
thing too. It's
don't
going
be-
in.
no
it's going
deer,
in the
no
Rays.
deer,
It's
no
going in the
deer.
Rays booth.
Oh,
So it's kind of an
man.
important car.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Please, no deer.
Jeez.
yeah. So you got to be careful. But anyway, you can go to My Petrolbox on Instagram. You can see some of their tour of SEMA, I suppose you could call it. But yeah, check that out. Check out some of the stuff that they've given away in previous boxes. You can find that on their website, mypetrolbox.com. Or you can go to Robbie's YouTube channel. And you can see 2 different boxes there of rad stuff that we've gotten. We've talked about it in the past. It's about $80 retail worth of items you get every single month. John, who we work with over there, he's very meticulous with his team about selecting things that are of value, I suppose you could say. Not gimmicky.
No, not at all.
Because there are some gimmicky boxes out there. They put cool stuff in every single one of those boxes. And typically when they do that, they offer some sort of discount on that item. So like if you get an item, you decide you really like it, like when we got the Jay Leno's car wash.
Yep.
If you decide you want some other Jay Leno's products, there was a discount for that. There was a discount for the shades like we talked about. Rock Auto. I mean, there's some really cool stuff in there. There's the value of the box, and then there's also the value of some of the other discounts that you can get as a result of it, in addition to T-shirts, gloves, just general automotive themed things. Like I said, it's all pretty cool stuff. So go to mypetrolbox.com. Check a few boxes, tell them about your sizes, plug in your address, and then use the code 10tenths at checkout. Hit apply. You'll get $7 off that first box. And as Robbie brought up before, if you order multiple months ahead of time,
Yep.
you get an even bigger discount. So check that out. mypetrolbox.com. They're also on Facebook as well. Let's do the news.
Yes. The new Copo Camaro debuts with a 302 LT-based engine.
Rad City
Is this the 60s again?
doesn't make any sense at all.
Got 302 and
I
you're
think it's sick.
just like back in the day.
I think it's sick. Doesn't make any sense at all.
The weird thing to me was it has a 3-speed transmission.
Drag racing
Yeah.
things.
Oh, yeah. And
it's
a solid axle rear end.
drag racing
Yeah.
things. That's what they're for.
They're
That's
That's
what
a
the Copo is, though.
I know that.
Robbie, it's a Copo Camaro.
I'm
It's
surprised-
a drag
Drag
race
race
for
Camaro.
drag
I'm
racing
surprised
Camaro.
that it's probably class rules, but I'm surprised that it's a 3-speed manual transmission.
You are surprised?
Yes.
It's a
so am I.
2-speed.
I'm surprised it's not
Oh,
a 2-speed
really?
automatic.
It is for a specific
It's an
class.
ATI TH400.
It's probably a class requirement.
It's the NHRA stock eliminator class.
Right. Which is where the Cobra Jet and I think the Scat Pack, I'm pretty sure that's a thing, those race as well.
Scat something.
I don't know.
So
It's cool.
is cool.
I am confused by the engine because that engine was for Trans Am racing originally in the 60s. So
yeah, that
I
was
don't,
a little weird. I don't know why they
don't get it.
decided. I think it's cool that they brought the motor back, and it's cool that they're putting it in a race car, but it's the wrong one.
it's definitely the wrong race
Should
car.
have been the GT3R
Because your other two
because
options.
they make that.
Yeah. The other two options are a 7-liter LS
Yep.
or a supercharged 350.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if you can like spin that thing to the moon.
Yeah, but I don't-
It does rev higher.
but I still don't get it. Still don't understand it.
I'm sure that there is a class rule.
Is there a
reason
5-liter
for it.
class?
Well, I'm sure that lower displacement means less weight, and they can make that kind of horsepower because they can spin it faster or something. I'm sure that there is a reasoning behind their logic. They didn't just do it to do it. I don't know what that reasoning is. I just thought it was kind of cool that they built that motor.
I
I
definitely
would
think
much
it's rad.
rather seen it in a road racing car, though.
Now I want the new LT with the 302 crank in it. That's the next motor I will build.
That'd be awesome.
Because that'd be rad as shit.
Many monies at this point.
Yeah, we'll wait for a few of them to get wrecked. Wait for a few truck motors to get wrecked, and then
There you go.
get a what's it called? Is it a Scat? No. Is it Scat cranks?
Scat, they
Yeah.
make cranks.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, good. They make good cranks, but
Yeah,
they're cheap.
yeah.
They'll make a 302 crank surely.
I don't see why not.
Boom.
Probably already do.
Future build.
Surely they make one for an LS.
I would imagine.
May have to investigate.
Apparently, the hot thing is to put the 4.8 crank in the 5.3 or the 5.7, one of the two. Apparently, that's the hot thing.
The 5.3 and the 4.8 are the same block.
Yeah, I think you put
The 4.8 has a forged crank. The 5.3 does not.
right.
Is that right?
Right, but the 4.8 crank
Is forged.
a smaller stroke.
Yes.
So
Hot thing for what?
I don't know. I've heard a bunch of
Swaps.
people
A lot of
talking
people
about
swap 'em.
building that motor. They take the 4.8 crank and they put it in a different LS to make a de-stroked version thereof that can rev crazy high. It's like literally I heard at least 3, if not 4 separate people talking about doing that motor swap at the last drift event we went to.
That's a pretty common LS build for cheap. So if you can piece together all these different LS variations, and you can basically
No,
make
wait.
a-
I take
you
that
could-
back. It's not forged. It has flat top pistons. That's what it is.
You can
It's higher
make a-
compression.
You can make a motor that'll rev to I don't know, some crazy number, 9,000 RPM, something stupid, by using that D-stroke crank.
Because I think that was the focus of that article, like a hot rod article, where they bought a van with the LS engine in it. I can't remember the details of it, but
I think usually the 6-liter.
no, it's an older one.
Okay.
But so they basically built a 500 horsepower LS engine with all these like spare piece parts from different builds, or like from Craigslist basically, and there was a grand total of like nothing. I think they broke even and had a 500 horsepower engine to show for it.
That may have been Jay Lopnik.
No.
No,
It was one of the articles that I referenced when I was doing my swap, because I had a handful of
Is it
articles.
Hot Rod though?
I want to say it was Hot Rod. It might not have been, but
I think it was
Might
one
have
of
been
the,
like
I
one
think
of
it was
those,
one
like
of the
Speed Academy or something.
No,
might have been one of those spin-off like GM Performance magazines.
Maybe it was.
or something like that. But I've seen that article as well.
I thought it was a Gawker variant that did that. It was one of those.
I thought it was more reputable than that.
You looking it up?
I'm trying to find it real quick, but I don't know.
It's an interesting article though, because he does buy the van at a salvage auction and actually builds the motor for basically nothing, because every time he needs something, he sells something off the van.
That's a recent article that you're thinking of. I
Oh,
think
is
the one
it?
that Robbie's talking about is much older, because he said he
okay.
referenced it for his swap. And the article that you're talking about, I have read in the last month. I remember that.
It was on Kinja. It was opposite lock.
Yeah,
Power
that sounds
power
right.
for pennies. How to
Yep.
score a 500 horsepower LS engine for free.
Who wrote that?
Hold on.
If it's on opposite lock, it
Oh,
may
you're
very
right.
well just be a guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bazi Tatarevic.
Okay, well he is.
This is the one.
He is
I
a
was
shining light at Gawker.
I think opposite lock has some decent stuff on
I
it.
think opposite lock has some.
You
decent
could just
stuff.
post to opposite
Yeah,
lock.
see,
if I'm
I
not
was
mistaken.
confusing this with one of the other articles, to be honest.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hot Rod or GM Performance Magazine's done something on that as well.
Yeah.
But I've heard lots of people talking about putting that short stroke 4.8 crank in bigger blocks and building D-stroke motors and revving them to the moon and putting them in drift missiles.
Hell
So
yeah. That's the way to do it.
it's a thing.
Rad.
Speaking of ways to spend your money, Michael,
Okay, I'm ready.
Paul Newman's personal Rolex Daytona sells
Yes.
for $17.8 million.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my
So
entire
much
life.
Crazy.
So stupid. I love watches. I love Rolexes. I love expensive Rolexes. This is stupid.
That's so dumb.
This was hyped for months.
Oh, was it
that
really?
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. This started months
Yeah.
and months and months and months ago when the ex-boyfriend of Paul Newman's daughter came to the public and said, I have his
Watch.
watch. Because here's the thing. There has been a Paul Newman Daytona. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's a style now.
It's a style. It was never a watch designed for Paul Newman. It was bought by his wife, and it has a distinctive dial on it.
Yep.
The markers on the dial are different than the other Daytonas, and the Daytonas, they're racing, whatever you want to call
Rolexes.
it. Right. So it had a different dial on it. For whatever reason, his wife bought it for him. He wore it for 20 years or something like that. And there was a time when his daughter's boyfriend at the time was in his house and asked what time it was. He didn't have a watch. And Paul said, you don't have a watch? And he said, no. And he said, here you go. Here's the watch. And he handed it to him. And he gave it to him.
Oh, shit.
Here's the thing, though. That watch, that style of watch, that not the Daytona, but that particular dial that he had on his watch that his wife bought for him, was so unpopular that Rolex dealers could not sell them. They would sit for years
Right.
unsold.
And is that the one that just sold
Yes.
for 17?
So here's how it comes back around again. So okay, so this watch is super unpopular. They can't sell them. They aren't really making them because they're not selling. The distributor or the authorized dealers can't even get rid of them. They were giving them away. If you bought a watch at full price, they would give you one because they just didn't want them in there. They just had to get rid of them. And so
Are they really ugly or what's
it's a little ugly. It's not that ugly, but when you compare it to probably the regular dialed Daytona at the time, that was a cleaner dial. And for some people just
similar
hated
priced?
people with high-end watches and Rolexes are super weird. If you so here's the thing, on a Rolex, if you have a model, they came out with a model recently, I think it was the Deep Sea. All they did was change the color of the letters on one line of text on the dial. People were fucking pissed about it. up in arms in the forums and on all the blogs, pissed about how could
Rolex forums have gotta be the worst place in the world.
could they just make a mockery of the heritage of the deep sea line by changing this font from white to red? Just fucking pissed. So this is probably the problem, is that the Cosmograph, and then it was eventually called the Daytona, had a very simple dial for a very long time, and then they come out with this kind of slightly funky dial, kind of 70s styled with interesting markers on it. People probably hated it. They wanted nothing to do with it, so they didn't sell any. And then about in the 90s, so I think he got that watch probably, the ex-boyfriend probably got that watch in the 80s, I think they said, something like that. In the 90s, people start going, oh, you can buy these. They were called Paul. I think they were called Paul Newman at that time because he was the only one that anybody had ever seen wear one, and he wore it all the time. Oh, you can get these Paul Newman Daytonas for, nothing, $500. Oh, okay. So people started buying them. And then the thing about watch collecting that's really weird is that when people realize that something's super rare,
doesn't matter
shoots
what
up
it
in
looks like
price.
anymore.
Right.
Boom.
So there was, this came up earlier this year that he had come out and said he had this watch. Prior to that, I think the minimum you could probably buy a Paul Newman style Daytona for was $150,000. You could expect to spend probably $250,000. This is just a watch. This is a watch that literally they had to give away.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's worth $250,000. So this watch comes out. People are speculating on the price of it for months leading up to this.
This is how crazy this got. I, as a person who have no day-to-day dealings with anything watch-related, don't own one, don't like stuff on my wrists, don't follow Watch World at all, knew that this was coming to sale, knew that this was going to be out of control, knew the story behind it, and I don't follow Watch World. That's how how hyped up this sale was.
Yeah, it turned into a complete publicity stunt, and so the story is, I guess the bidding was opened at $1 million.
No, it was opened at $10 million.
Well, the first bid was $10 million.
Oh.
It was opened at $1 million. The auctioneer
happens.
opened it at $1 million. The first bid was a phone bid from China for $10 million.
That's insane.
So there were only 32 people authorized to bid on this watch. So it was an auction for a lot of different watches. There were a lot of people there that were authorized to bid. You had to have a special paddle to bid on the Paul Newman Daytona. Only 32 people were authorized to bid. That first bid, $10 million, knocked out everybody in the room. So everybody in the room was out. Nobody can bid on that watch anymore.
Too much money.
So it sold for $15.5 million. The buyer's premium took it up to $17.8. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. There's a lot of speculation it was bought by Rolex. It probably was bought by Rolex. It's going to go in a museum, I'm sure. Or maybe some private bidder decided that they had to have it. But these people get so weird about one-of-one watches where they will spend money that you don't even understand on them.
That one has some inscription on it, personal to him, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think it says drive carefully on the back.
Yeah, something like that.
And then it says me, which I think his wife's name was Missy.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was her gift to him.
Right.
But
So here's what's interesting to me about this. I know I'm a little bit too young to really know who Paul Newman is, but it seems like I know he's dead, but there's been this insane, unstoppable money spending machine built around his name. Like Adam Carolla buying up all of his old race cars and them selling for crazy money at auctions.
Yep.
And now his watch and basically anything that has Paul Newman in some way, shape, or form related to it goes for astronomical prices. And I barely even know who this guy is.
He was just before your time. I mean, he was a big
He was
name.
a big actor at the time.
Yeah,
and
big
I really
actor,
just know him as a race car
producer,
driver.
IndyCar owner. I mean,
right. But it's amazing to me that just here in the last year or two, it seems like his name and the things associated with it have skyrocketed.
he's one of that group of actors that were I don't even know how exactly you would categorize them other than calling them men. I mean, they were men. You know, but they were men.
They were manly.
They were men in a way okay, so Steve McQueen.
Yep.
There's one that's still
James Dean.
James Dean definitely, but it starts with a C. Why can't I think of his name? He still makes movies. He's a director.
Clint Eastwood?
Yes, Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yeah,
he would be
yeah.
in
Man's Men.
and so some of them were more
Eat
fashion,
red meat,
right?
drink
But
beer,
and they were fashionable men at the same time, but it's like this Machiavellian, kind of can do anything type of man.
I don't know.
Machiavellian.
I don't know.
Look it up. But
know what that means.
it's kind of it's a man's man, but it's a man's man that can kind of do anything.
Yep.
You can race cars, you can act, you can impress women, you can dance, you can you can enjoy fashion, you can
just like
drive,
unfairly awesome.
But it's more of a practiced thing and an acceptance of this role, and those guys were just better. They were just a group in that time period that existed, and there was like 4 or 5 of them. But who can you point to now that is that way? People,
I think
you have people that try.
So I think if the accident wouldn't have happened in 10 to 15 years, that would have been Paul Walker.
Maybe.
I think that he would have been our generation's Paul Newman. If he was still churning out these ridiculous movies, these Fast and Furious movies, and just his name was growing and growing and growing. He was a real race car driver. He did time attack series. He was working his wheel through wheel to wheel ranks. He was a very charitable man. He did a lot of charity work. Very good looking man. I think he could have been our generation's Paul Newman had he not been killed.
And looking back, he might still kind of get thrown into that.
He might.
he
Yeah.
may.
because
Yeah.
say he'll live on.
Yeah.
'Cause
There's a lot of people
will
that
talk about that.
Yeah,
like the
there's a lot of
accident
people that are, and I have a few people in my mind specifically that they acted like they were the world's biggest Paul Walker fans out of nowhere, and I knew them pretty well, and I never.
Yeah, it's like
That was the boat to jump on at the time, but
Yep.
and I think because of that he'll be immortalized, and I think rightfully so. I think he was an amazing man in his life, but I think if he would have been able to continue on, he would have reached that level.
Yeah.
This is not a direct comparison because it doesn't have to do with race cars, but I think probably Leonardo DiCaprio is probably
He's-
that guy
he's
for our
try-
generation.
He's
Yeah.
trying to capture that old Hollywood. He wants Hollywood to be the old style Hollywood, like that upper class, like the black tie events.
Yep.
Like the Machiavellian type.
Yep. Yeah, can do anything. Yeah, it's definitely not. There's the guy. What's the name of that damn show? It's a. I never watched it. I had an ex-girlfriend that watched it. I fucking hated it. It was Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
What's the guy's
Oh.
his name? He races. He's a good-looking dude.
Son of a bitch.
you're not thinking Patrick Dempsey, are you?
I am thinking of Patrick Dempsey.
Dempsey.
Probably.
McDreamy.
He's close, but the thing is,
He's not near as popular. Like
Yeah,
people-
but you're also in this fucking trash TV show. Like that's how you're popular, and that's
He's
where your
like
money came
cult
from.
popular.
so he's not like.
Because that was just a soap opera, wasn't it?
I think it's still on TV
It
though,
is
man. It's
still
like
on
never
TV.
going to end.
It's been
Yeah,
on
it's
TV
like
for like
soap opera.
35 years or
It's
something.
never going to
stupid.
end.
Yeah.
But yes, he is.
He's kind of close, but like he's not classy.
People call him McDreamy, which
He's
makes me
not
giggle.
classy.
But yeah,
He's not a classy man. I mean, he may be, but if you're in a TV show like Grey's Anatomy, for me, you're written off. Like I don't care what you do, you're out, man.
I just know him as a racer. So
I don't know. He's a very good racer, is he?
he was quite successful
Okay.
at like
Yeah.
Le Mans. Most of what he's done is like upper level sports car endurance racing.
Okay.
Le Mans, 24 hours of Daytona, 12 hours of Sebring, stuff like that. And he's been relatively successful there. My question becomes, because he's the gentleman driver, right?
Okay.
He's the one who's providing the money for the team to be there.
Oh, okay.
He's had very good teams. I think he's a pretty solid driver, but I don't know how well he would have done if his team wasn't
Being funded by him?
everything that was there. Like, if he would have had any less co-driving talent, I don't think that he has the talent to shine through that.
No, the only race I saw him do, he crashed into the pit wall when he was trying to exit the pit. So I'm a little biased against him as a driver.
There's some
Personally.
top level F1 guys that occasionally do stupid shit like that too. So everybody's human. But
He wouldn't be where he is if he didn't have the money to fund
no,
it.
he is what's called a gentleman driver. He's there because he can afford to be there, and you just hope to God as a professional race car driver that you could get on the good side of a person like that, who is relatively good at driving, but also stupid loaded.
You look like
And
you were furiously
kind of follow his coattails.
Googling over there, Robbie.
Yeah, no, it's all, I got nothing.
You're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's dumb.
So, yeah.
The other thing that gets left out in a lot of these headlines is that part of this went to charity. I don't know that influenced
that puts the money up a little.
I don't know that it influenced the
think
bid, though. I don't know that it did. I think the way that this was promoted, people were going to.
Well, it was good.
Somebody's going to empty.
It's probably
their
the difference between 15 or 10 million and 15 million. You know what I mean? Like it's still an insane amount of money.
The other thing you have to understand is I think it was a Patek sold for 12 million or something like that. And I really think that somebody wanted that badge that I had bought the most expensive watch in the world, and this was the opportunity to buy the most expensive watch in the world.
Because it sold second?
No, this watch would have sold 2013, I think.
Okay, so that was the most expensive watch in the world?
Yeah. I think somebody wanted that.
Well, it's kind of like art, like the paintings
Yeah.
and stuff. Like I could never justify, even no matter how rich I was, a $20 million painting. But people spend it.
These are people who buy $200 T-shirts, and
These are the people
they
that
just
buy
have-
that stuff from that website when
they
they
have
email me.
fuck you
Those are those
money.
people.
They just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
Robbie.
well, even if I had fuck you money, I can't fathom
When you have-
17 million on anything.
When you have a net worth of $10 billion
guess.
and it doubles every 3 years,
Yeah, I suppose if you're on the Forbes
$17
100,
million is not that big a deal.
I guess. To me, I just can't fathom, and I'll never be able to, and that's fine. But that's crazy.
I met a guy that was on the Forbes 100 list one time. His office had shag pile carpet in it still. Original from the 70s.
That's all.
I have
Part of the reason why he was on that list.
Yeah, I've had encounters with a number of very, very wealthy people, and that seems to be a very reoccurring theme.
Maybe it's just the ones around here.
But
that could
people
very easily
people
be.
that have money keep money.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
like
They
but
didn't
you know what
get
it
there
is?
from being extravagant.
You know what it is? They're first generation money.
Yes,
That's the thing. First generation
I
money
think so,
doesn't
yeah.
spend it.
Yeah,
Second generation
pisses
kind
it
of builds
away.
it and starts spending it.
Well-
Third generation blows that shit away.
The people I know are second gen and still stingy as can be.
Are they really?
Like, you step into their houses, you step back 20 years.
Yeah.
One of them still drives like a 90s Dodge Caravan. But they have a private jet that they use to fly to Brazil because they do business there so often that it would cost justified. And they're probably worth, millions, tens of millions. And they, one of them bought a 42-inch TV and his wife didn't talk to him for a week.
Because she was pissed about it?
Yeah.
Because it was too much money?
Because it was a
Expenditure
gross
they didn't
use
need?
of their money that he didn't need to spend.
It's all about perspective.
yeah, it is.
That's an interesting perspective.
Speaking of a perspective,
Man, you are transitioning like a mofo over there.
Somebody slow him down.
Yeah.
Rolls Royce, cars that these rich people will buy, theorizes that 3D printing technology could allow them to make more unique, bespoke cars.
What was that one bullshit they made? That
Oh, so ugly.
The $13 million
Yeah,
one of one.
the swept tail.
Swept.
They
tail.
said that they have said that the reason they're really pushing this is because they have so many orders for that type of car, not that car specifically, but one of one Rolls-Royce customer built or customer designed cars that they can't keep up.
If I was Rolls Royce, that's what I'd do.
Why wouldn't you? $13
Fold it
million?
up. I'm done building
Production.
mass market production cars. Screw everybody. I'm building coach
I'd make
builders.
a Phantom. Just make the Phantom and make it like $500,000.
Yeah, make
Fuck
Phantoms,
the Ghost. Like, who gives a shit?
Phantoms, and coach builds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
make a
your-
$500,000
your
Phantom.
Phantoms can fund your business and just kind of like
That
be
can
a
sit-
consistent money in.
that can sit in the dealer.
Doesn't
You know,
BMW own?
Yeah, that's-
so they just
that's
build
the
them on
problem.
BMW chassis.
Well, that's what they do with the Ghost.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But get rid of that. You don't even need that.
Just build
Fuck
coach
those poor people.
Coach built cars on BMW chassis.
Our limit is you're coming in $500,000 for a Phantom. Can't afford that. Go fuck you. Go buy an S Class. And then it's,
and double that and up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
But like
I'm sure there's tons of demand for it. Sounds crazy, but I'm sure since
is.
they're the only company,
Somebody bought a $17 million watch.
somebody did buy a $17
the
million
market's there.
watch.
I mean,
A $13 million car makes more sense than
Than
a
a $17 million watch. Yep. So
I mean, additive manufacturing is the future in
all of manufacturing. Like if you're not on board with that, you're done. And Rolls-Royce isn't doing this the way everyone else is doing it, like in the aerospace business and the automotive business. They're doing it to make better parts faster. Like you can take any geometry and just make it, print it.
Whereas everybody else is using it to make the same parts cheaper.
No, that too. But you can make better parts. Like it's something that would be normally made out of 6 or 7 pieces that had to be welded or brazed together. You can make it out of 1 piece, and it's better. It's more. It's a solid piece.
1 piece is always better than 6.
Yes. So you can make more complicated geometries that you wouldn't normally be able to make with standard manufacturing practices. Rolls-Royce is going to use that to make more like ridiculous geometries, one-of-one bodies will be like mechanically sound, safe things.
That would be so cool.
But they're only going to use it to make these one-of-one cars. They're not going to do it to make cheaper. It's going to be more expensive.
That's fine. It'd be sweet, though.
That's the future. And
I have an opinion on 3D printing, by the way, because everybody keeps saying that we're just all going to get a 3D printer and we're just going to sit around in our house and 3D
plastic stuff?
3D print shit. I don't think that that's what's going to happen.
Absolutely not.
I think realistically, people do not have the attention span or the intellect to be able to pull that off.
No.
Not the average person.
People are morons.
I've seen what it takes to do it.
It's a lot of work, and the process will get better, but I realistically do not think that the theory is that it's going to get rid of Amazon's business, or maybe that was what Amazon would become, and everybody's just going to have a 3D printer, and you get on Amazon, air quotes, and you order a plan for $5, and you put your material in, and it spits out the thing that you just bought.
That's so far.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
That to me sounds ridiculous. I think you will still have manufacturing. There are efficiencies to manufacturing that you cannot eliminate. The amount of time
quality
spent,
standards.
quality, that the amount of time it would take. Think about the time it would take to make a part individually versus just making it, having a manufacturer make it. It's so much more efficient.
Yeah,
it's outrageously more efficient, especially these like ISO and Six Sigma manufacturing facilities. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so instead of having these cells full of different like lathes,
materials,
and CNC machines and brazing ovens and X-ray booths and all. I guess you'd probably still need X-ray to prove out that the material is capable. But you're just going to have a bunch of these 3D printing, powder bed fusion or laser printing powder machines. That's the future, and it will be that way for almost any metallic industry. I mean, aerospace is absolutely going that way.
You sound intimately knowledgeable with these things.
My title now is additive manufacturing engineer.
Right.
Fancy.
My inbox has not changed. Like my inbox on LinkedIn has been full
of people
really?
asking you about 3D printing.
No, like asking me to come to their work and quit my job.
To be abroad.
To be an additive manufacturer for them. I'm not kidding. If you want to get into engineering, do it now. Focus on additive. Guaranteed job. Good job.
If you don't have engineering mindset, become a fiber splicer, because I get multiples a week on LinkedIn as well, and I don't even use my LinkedIn.
No, I don't either. The only time I ever do is when I change jobs.
Right.
Or I'm looking for another job and I'm not.
Right. So, just out of curiosity, is it possible to like go and tour your place of work and see these machines, or is that kind of closed door?
No, we're the amount of paperwork you'd have to do. I don't think it's an option.
That's a bummer, because I would love to see
like
the machine. I think it'd be fun to go and see the machine and kind of maybe talk about it and stuff. I would love to see what you do, because it sounds really fascinating to me.
Yeah, basically 3D printing with a laser.
Because it's like one step off of what Koenigsegg is doing, and that's fascinating to me.
It's the same ideas, yeah.
Right. So I would love to see it. That's a bum deal that it wouldn't be a simple thing.
No, it's an aerospace facility. It's not going to.
Yeah, that was what I was afraid of.
Rad City. Should we move on to the next one?
Yep. We'll finish this off with Honda reports.
Honda.
What?
Are you making fun of Honda drivers or something, Robbie?
Oh, I didn't realize that I was making fun of Honda.
Listen, just because they drive around in lawnmowers doesn't mean you have to bring them down, Robbie. Automotive culture starts at it's at all levels, Robbie. Okay, I don't need you bringing them down.
Do people like Hondas? Is it like
yeah? There's like a whole race series.
what?
Yeah,
Like a bunch of
It's like a whole bunch of
like a
string
bunch of-
trimmers racing each other. It's crazy
We
shit, man.
talked about Obscure Motorsports not too long ago about the
We didn't talk about the
lawnmower
string trimmer racing.
We talked about lawnmower racing.
We
Is that what
did.
we're talking about?
That's Honda.
There's a track like 30 minutes south of here.
I thought that
Yeah.
was a Briggs and Stratton thing, though, not Honda.
Well, I think Honda's got their own series in that as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you?
All the new people, all the new
Jermaine's
people,
getting ready to message us.
all the
right
new
now.
people from Slip Angle are like, oh, listen to this 10 Test podcast. These fuckers.
These fucking
Fuck
morons.
these people. Fuck them. All I do is talk about
you
LSs
see-
and talk shit on Hondas. Fuck them.
Did you see David Allen posted that meme on the group and it had a picture of a stanced out Honda and it was talking shit
Yeah.
about stance cars. But Jabay immediately gets on his jumping to conclusions, Matt, and assumes that we're shit talking Hondas. Like, dude,
Maybe we were shit talking Hondas. It
just
was a
bring it down
picture of a
notch.
Honda.
Stance cars. Calm down.
You know what's funny? I literally just got an email saying that I need to respond to this guy about a job inquiry. Sorry, moving on to my Hondas.
Honda.
Honda reports another S2000 could be in the cards if there is enough demand. And if you go to forums, there's all the demand.
There's all, bro,
Have you-
Jalopnik
have you-
demand, son.
Yeah, everyone would buy one.
I'd buy one right now.
Just like the hot hatches.
Make it in brown and manual and
Yeah, I was going to say the brown manual station wagons. They can't keep those on the
make it a
shelf
shooting
floor.
brake, bro. I'll order two.
Yeah, we'd all buy them.
Here's the deal on this, because I did some research on this.
Let's do it.
I actually did do some research on this. The Honda S2000 in 2009, which is the last year it was produced,
Yes.
was $31,600 up to $37,995, so $38,000.
FRS money.
A lot more than that.
Yeah, no, that's way more.
No, I thought it was like 26.
Adjusted for inflation, that's $37,000 to $44,000.
It's a little higher.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
A new FRS is like at least 26.
Yeah, you'll spend 26 on an
Yeah, so I suppose
FRS, but
almost
44
10.
grand.
No, not
Oh,
44.
That's a lot.
That's
of money.
crazy money.
So that's the thing is that everybody's like, "Well, I don't understand why they stopped making this or why they don't make another." Blah, blah, blah. It's because you fuckers didn't buy it.
Of course,
There's
Is
a
it
decent
expensive
number of them out there, though.
There are, but there's a reason that they're $25,000 for a really nice one. It's because there's enough demand for it. It got a little bit cheaper, and once it got a little bit cheaper, the demand for it shot up, and people wanted them because they couldn't afford them when they were new, or they liked them when they were, I'm 23 and I don't have the money to buy it, but now I'm 28, now I do have the money to buy it, and so it's kept the prices inflated. But if they come out with a new one, it's going to be like $45,000, and then people, us as well, will probably bitch about it. So
I can't
that's why
afford
they're
a
not.
$45,000 brand new car.
That's why they're not going to make another one.
Well, they expect to sell 300 of these, the Type R's per month, and those are pretty expensive.
Seems like they're
Typer?
doing that too. I think.
How much is a Typer?
About that $40,000 money.
Yeah, I think it's
It
right up in
cannot
there.
be. You
Yes,
got to be
it is.
shitting
Yeah, it
me.
is.
You got to be
It's
shitting
right
me.
up in.
Who
It's
is
right up
buying
in there
this?
with like Focus RS money, and it's only front wheel drive.
Oh, give me a break.
If I had to choose between the two, I'd probably
30
take the Type R.
The,
But
the MSRP is $33,900. And they were-
33.9.
And they were marking them up 10 grand above
Oh,
that.
people are out of their fucking minds. And then Matt Farah takes it out. He says it cooks its brakes and it won't run around a racetrack properly.
it overheats.
It overheats and fails out.
Yeah,
What a piece
he
of
couldn't do
garbage.
like 2 or 3. It was like less than 5 laps of Road America or something, or Road Atlanta, something like that. Very few.
Fuck it, make it.
Trash.
They'll make it. Apparently, people will buy it because people are out of their minds.
But
They'll spend $17,000 on a Rolex.
people who buy those cars don't. It seems like a majority of the purchasers of like the Type R, the Focus RS, stuff like that, it doesn't matter how it performs on the track.
No, it's a selling point.
We're
when they
the
don't
wrong
use it.
people to discuss this. I think is
I think so too.
yeah. But you would think on an S2000 though, that's a different ball game.
Right, it's just a fancy Miata.
That's
It's that same, like,
Oh, now you're really going to piss some people off.
well,
he's
a
not
lot of
wrong.
people say that.
It is,
I've even
yeah.
heard Miata owners say S2000s are just
a cooler,
Miatas
a
with
cooler
twice the
Miata.
power.
Cool
Cooler.
Honda Miata. Yeah.
Cool Honda.
Yeah.
Cool Honda.
So, but I mean, it's a similar price point. You look at like base model S2000s and like top trimmed out Miatas because I think they're quite a bit cheaper, or at least they were at the time.
Sure. Yep.
You know that was
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
those
I'm
are
with
what
you.
you cross shop.
I'm with you. It was kind of in its own. It was in its own
sell
market.
Miatas
Kind of.
pretty well.
Yes.
I think there's room in the market for a car at that price point, but most of us won't be buying them.
Right. But to Robbie's
People our
point,
parents' age probably would.
to Robbie's point on the internet,
Right, people who are not
yeah.
on the internet,
they'll sell a
buying
million.
it.
They'll sell a million of them tomorrow, if they had them.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just
According
like all
to
the
the internet,
Supras
yeah.
that no one's going to be able to afford.
Right, because they're going to be $110,000.
Right.
That's the thing, too, when people are like, well, why don't they bring back the RX-7, bro? Do you realize that the RX-7, when it was new in 1993, was $36,000?
Nobody knows that.
It was that's $65,000 today. So if you were going to go, let's say it's
Is that for like the turbo one?
Yep.
For like a top
This would be
tier?
the top. This is the top MSRP because I couldn't find like the options package.
Yeah,
This would be the top option. Like, I think so it'd probably be the turbo one. In this, it's the MSRP before options. So if you were going to walk into a showroom tomorrow, if they made an RX-7, and you're like, I would like the turbo rotary, sir, they would say, great. Where's your check for $65,000?
Oh, I wonder why they don't make them.
Jesus.
That's the thing that people
Christ.
online don't get that drives me fucking crazy.
Well,
Expensive
That's also
car.
kind of the thing that manufacturers don't get is that everybody who wants those cars, who wants fun, sporty cars, can't afford $40,000 to $50,000 cars. A majority of the people on the internet who talk about wanting them, when you go and you look, oh, there must be demand. Those people can't afford that high dollar car.
That's probably why it's really tricky to know if you should make a car or not. Because you could take a poll.
Right.
So then what do you do? Do you research those people?
No, you got to say, would you
Give me
buy
your bank statement. What do you make a year?
Yeah.
That's
Because you
probably what
can't
you
even
gotta do.
say, would you buy a $50,000 car? Because I'll absolutely tell you, yes, I would. Can you? Different story.
That's probably what you have
would
to do.
I? Absolutely.
You'd have to pay a company to poll people and say, what do you do? How much money do you make? What do you do in your free time? What are your hobbies? What's your current disposable income? And go through all that stuff and say, yeah, this guy could buy one, but he likes Subarus or whatever. And so now you're fucked. You
Or-
can't sell one to that guy.
You could just churn out 100 million more Accords.
And you know you're going to sell Accords.
Yeah,
So you make more Accords.
exactly. Which is a real bum deal.
You know what? I bet like Honda and Toyota, I bet they're like sick of us. I mean, sick of us for sure, but sick of enthusiasts.
Us as a larger group.
Right. I'm sure they're sick of enthusiasts because all we do is like, bro, why don't you make another rotary, bro? And they're like, because you fuckers don't buy them.
Yeah.
That's why. You'll
We
buy them
want-
15 years from now.
We want 2-seater or 2-door, small, rear-wheel drive, fun cars. Okay, here's the
one.
FRS.
Nah,
wait,
son.
No, we don't want
I'm
that.
good on that one, bro. Thanks.
We'll buy like 10 of those a year.
Yep, I'm good, dude. I'll buy that. I'll buy that in like 10 years, man. Thanks.
Like, I understand I'm
Appreciate
going to offend a lot of people, but like when the Supra came out and the one that people were able to buy, not the twin turbo 2J, but like we're talking just like the
it. Normal one.
normal
I would
one.
guess that was similar to RX-7 money for that car.
Yeah, but
Let me look up what year would a Supra would that have been?
like a 94. Just like a 94 Supra.
Yeah.
Whatever price point that is, how could I guarantee like competitively the FRS would have been right there with it and the FRS would have been cheaper.
Oh, you mean like a stock Supra from then versus an FRS from now?
Right.
Probably similar speeds.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's
So-
like, everyone's talking about like Supra's like the greatest car ever.
93 Supra. So same year as the RX-7. 33.9. So the same bottom price as the RX-7.
Retail. That's not
MSRP. 33. Yeah, I said 33.9.
Yep.
The turbo, 39.9. So 40,000, which again is RX-7 money. Same deal.
Yeah,
the
that's
RX-7
$60,000 to
was
$70,000.
no, it was more than the RX. So 70 grand. Just count on $70,000 for a turbo Supra when it was new in 1993.
Yeah.
70 grand. So no, you're not going to buy a new Supra. So shut
that-
up.
No.
That new Supra is going to cost a lot more because it's going to have a lot more luxuries and even base normal options, safeties and airbags and all that stuff. It's going to cost $100,000.
I fully expect that car to cost like $110,000. I wasn't joking. I think
Oh,
that's probably what it's
absolutely.
going
I
to
think
cost.
that's a reasonable look at the NSX. That car's crazy money.
Yeah, and it's got to be cheaper than that
Yeah.
because it's not supercar comparable.
Is it,
so it's got to be a
though?
little cheaper. Isn't it supposed to be a little bit less crazy than that?
I don't know. I have not. For some reason, I've been super uninterested in the development of that whole car.
It's because everybody's bitches about it.
I think it's because
I don't like the front bumper,
I
man.
think it's because BMW's involved.
Why can't they
with
make
it.
their own car? What are they going to do with BMW?
I don't know why I hate BMW so much. I just don't.
I don't hate
like
BMWs. I just hate fanboys on the internet because they're really
Yeah, I get
annoying.
that.
They
I
just
get-
don't understand.
I guess my
anything.
point was bone stock Supra 94 is not as good looking as a
stock FRS in 2017.
I bet you.
I understand I'm going to piss off a lot of people, but you put those two cars side by side, the profile on the FRS is a better looking car. Toyota literally gave everybody what they asked for with the FRS. Competitive, like on the track, the Supra stock is not that much, like unless you get the $50,000 turbo,
and then turn it up.
You're not going to get a faster car for $26,000. I'm sorry.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody wants it to make 300 horsepower, but those are the same people that talk about it being too expensive.
Yeah, that's probably why they won't give us a turbo car because by the time they put the R&D into it,
Absolutely.
and get it to market, it's going to be like 36, and then
They'll
people
never make any money.
And then people are like, "Why don't I just buy an STI?"
That's what the aftermarket's for.
It only makes like 200 foot-pounds of torque, bro. Well, I'm just going to get an STI. What the
That's
fuck?
what the
What
aftermarket's
fuck?
for. You want a 300 horsepower FRS? Then go to FD86 Speed Factory and buy one.
You're going to pay for it. Trust me, it's going to be a lot more expensive. I'm not saying that they're price gouging you or anything like that, but parts are expensive. If you want to make a car go a lot faster than it goes now,
Horsepower is expensive.
it is expensive.
Especially if you're starting with a naturally aspirated motor.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't. I'm sick of people online.
No.
I went through. I did a purge on my Facebook. Like I got rid of. I think a while ago I talked about anybody that reposted anything, like those generic car pages, gone. See ya, nerd. I went through and did that same thing again. I was like, I don't even know why I'm following this. You guys post garbage. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. I got rid of Drive Tribe. They're off my page. Car memes. See ya.
Yep.
Because all they do is post like they
regurgitate the
yeah,
same
they
crap
and they
everybody
were
else is
posting something
regurgitating.
about like what did they? Oh, there was like a meme about when your car friends that or when your friends that don't own cars make fun of your car, and I'm like, this appeals to a 16-year-old. I do not need to follow this page anymore.
Right.
I think that we've done pretty good picking up listeners on Car Throttle, but I don't really love their content they post on their Facebook pages.
I'd be curious who's actually running them. Like just some random dude that's
That's exactly what it is.
fair enough.
That's exactly what it is. It's a bunch of random guys. They're literally from all over the world running different parts of it. But they
But that's-
regurgitate other people's
Yeah.
content. You can submit your own video to them.
Right.
They don't even make their own content. They get it from somebody else.
But the wild thing about that is it works though.
Yeah.
Like if you make a page and you just regurgitate bullshit that other pages that are big,
Yeah, look at
make
us.
people.
We've struggled to reach 1,000 people on our
Yeah.
Facebook page,
And it's all original
And it's
content.
all original content. I
Yeah.
barely ever re-share somebody else's posts. If there's something that's really funny and really pertains to the show, I might share it.
On the
I'm
group,
more
even.
likely to share it on the
Close.
group.
Yeah.
Right. That's different.
But yeah, we struggle to make that.
Yeah. So I just
No,
I don't.
It's like Instagram too. The meme pages have like 500,000 followers.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And then you go to a page that has 20,000 followers, and you're like, none of this content is yours.
Right.
This is all somebody else's shit that you probably didn't even credit. It's crazy, and I know a lot of that stuff's fake, and I'm sure
course.
it's the same way on Facebook too. You could buy, I'm gonna
You buy
buy
all the fans you
100,000 followers, and then therefore I'm gonna.
I was looking at a page because another Instagram page that I follow, they grabbed a video of theirs and reposted it without permission or tag.
Somebody get them.
And so it was Cody Loveland of Love Fab.
Yep.
His new project is this crazy little Honda Civic with some insane aero. It's that turbo J-Swap car that's been at Grid Life the last 2 years.
Okay.
He put some crazy aero
Yep.
on it. He's going to run it Time Attack. A
Okay.
little bit more. I mean, it's still a wild build, but it's a little bit more reasonable than that NV8 thing. I
Yep.
would imagine the operating costs are much lower.
Yes.
Which is great. But somebody grabbed a video, like a walk around of that car, and threw it on this like VTEC Power or something like that.
Yep.
They've got like 120,000 followers, and it literally says in the description, looking for a new page owner. You could buy it from them.
I think that's a business. Oddly enough, I think somehow generating a bunch of bullshit traffic through the page and then flipping it is a business because they'll do that. You can buy. They talked about it wasn't the Tom DeLonge one, but it was on one of the Joe Rogan episodes. There are people that just make pages, and then they'll get a whole bunch of followers some way or another, and then they'll sell you the page, and then you just change the handle and you could delete all the pictures. You can
Start fresh. You just-
yeah, but you still
you
have
have an
all
audience.
you have all the followers, and so then you can so now I started a company that makes wood tables, let's say, and then I buy this page that's got 80,000 followers on it. I'll just delete all the pictures, what memes or whatever they are, put some tables and shit up there, change some stuff. You might lose
half of them, but still
40,000, but see, and then people, oh, look at this guy. He's
got
making these
40,000
tables, and she's got 40,000 people. Oh, we all follow that.
Start doing some sponsored
Yeah,
content, and
Yep.
next thing you know, you're back up to 80 again.
it's
That's
a
the first thing I
weird-
do is when I look at a page with the thought of possibly following it, is see how many people also follow it.
You do
See
it.
if I have friends who are following.
You do it even if you don't realize you do
Yeah.
it. Everybody
Yeah.
does it. How many people follow this page? Ooh,
use it to-
200.
use it to legitimize it.
I don't know about this 200 thing. 1,200? Yeah.
Actually,
I'm getting there.
since we've started the podcast, I've found myself following more pages that have less followers because at least it's unique content
Yeah.
more often. So
Social media, bro. It's a thing.
But if you use social media, there's only one place you should go.
1010's
1010's
podcast.
podcasts. I'm just saying.
Bam, son. Subscribe
All
to
that
the
unique content.
Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Join that group. Introduce yourself.
we have a lot of people
Hello.
in that group.
People
It's
join
awesome.
the group because we
Pushing
told
like
them
150 or something. It's
you should
crazy.
like the page, but then you should also find the group and you should join that
I think
shit.
there's a few of you who are just on the page or on the group and not the page.
Shit's
Whatever.
wild out there.
It's all good.
On the internet. There's a lot of people on the page that aren't on the group,
Yeah.
but that's fine. Whatever. That's cool. Join the group though.
You do you.
No, don't do you. Join the group. Don't be a loser. That's all I'm saying. Is that it? Are we done with this show?
Yeah, I think so. It's a long one, ain't
That was a lot of bitching at the
Are
end
we
there.
up to 3 hours yet? There's a lot of bitches that have nothing to do with Honda's
have we-
S2000.
have we-
Ooh,
bro-
everybody's excited. Is going to be super pumped
it? Is this
because
a new record?
we're almost at 2.5.
I own the newest, longest episode.
Robbie can claim he now owns the longest episode of this show.
In your face, Spencer.
Oh no! Wait, how long was that show? How long was that show?
No, that was just over 2.
Was it?
Yeah.
Those were different
because
times though.
even-
Yeah,
even his
that was
got
back
beat.
when an hour and a half show was average. Hour 45 was long. Spencer's hit like 202 or something.
But you know what? It's so Joe Rogan is not paying us, even though you'd be surprised. But if you go back and look at his start at 2, and then they keep creeping up. Now you see some that are like 315.
Yeah.
You guys just wait. 315's coming up, Robbie.
Yeah. James Houghton was 202.
that one? This is
Spencer
the
was
long
202. Alex Roy was 201.
Man,
Alex Roy was just 30 minutes of fanboying afterwards. I don't know if that one counts.
That's all right. So, yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry, Spencer. Mine.
Congrat-
Next week's will be 37.
congratulations, Robbie. Anyway, should we wrap it up? Let's call it good. See you punks next week.